And if you still are, you aren't anymore. If you used to. I wonder who you could possibly be referring to. Not Canadians by any chance, is it? Yes. For once. Not really unhinged, it's kind of expected at this point. Apparently you guys can't be heard. Why? Did this stupid thing reset yet again? Every time. I hate this thing. I hate that it does this every bloody week now for reasons I don't even know. Why? Why do you keep doing this? Keep the bloody things the same. Absolute tards. You want to say something? No. Fucks. Now it's still not saying anything. Why the hell do you keep doing this every bloody week? I hate this. It just yeah, for some bizarre reason I don't know. Dead. Say something now. No. No. No, it still doesn't. What the hell? Okay,
all right, just turn it back on.
Freaking Discord that does it.
Okay, well, turn the stream back on. Let's.
Yeah, again.
Okay. Are we here now? I think everybody should be able to hear us now, I believe. Apparently, it's not OBS, it's Discord. Hello, everybody. No one heard my intro, but hello. Very professional here, as always.
Once more with feeling.
Right, once more with feeling.
You useless twats.
Hey, not my fault. For once, I'm not the boomer in the room. But it's yeah, I'm not. Are you surprised that it's a Discord issue? I'm not. Anywho, sorry if you left. Hopefully you'll come back. We are here actually. It's not just Spoon talking to himself like a schizophrenic. Anyway, so it's been an interesting week. Yeah, of course there was the as I was sort of talking about before, the topics we're going to discuss, of course, today is the beepers blowing up, and what I did have here before is I do want to give credit where credit's due, because I don't like to steal memes. Well, I steal some people's memes. I steal Bill's memes, and I stole Mitch's memes. Is that Vox Oculi over here on Twitter? I stole the joke, the grim beeper, and the image, so go follow Vox Oculi. And what else do we have? Of course, we have to talk about the second Trump assassination attempt and the various absolutely unhinged, well, again, as we were saying before, is it really unhinged? Yes, it's unhinged, but at the same time, how can you not expect it at this point? Kind of responses that, well, that you got from this. They are doubling down. They're on it. Actually, it's okay when we do it. Oh, am I showing my wrong screen? I am.
Yes, you are.
Why is it doing that?
Because you keep showing the screen and not the browser.
Hang on. No, that's how it works, though. Give me a sec. Oh my god, this has just been. Yes, it is. I've done this a million times. Yes, it is. Hang on.
You've never done this before up until a couple of days ago.
because it's never happened before. There we
How
go.
do you...
There you go.
Romancer.
No, it's the window. Yeah, it's fine. There we go.
Romancer.
Okay. All right. Look, we're off to a really great start. So let's. Okay. So I'm having a drink then. All right. Freaking. Since we're talking about the exploding beepers, Mazel Tov. Let's go.
It's for you.
It's the spirit of Boomer Jim.
Oh
So
my.
when Ted Kaczynski does it, it's bad. But no, what a great line and all that.
Yeah. Oh my.
I mean, he did
Woo.
have a go at the right people.
Let's go. All right.
What have you been drinking now?
Gin and Boost.
They
Boost.
didn't have Powerade.
So yeah.
That's
I've-
not a healthy combination, is it though?
Because I've been sick, okay, and it's not been like, I've been sick
You've
for
been
a
sick,
couple
so
of
you
days.
drink that.
Well, I've been drinking Boost because it's got
It's not regular
electrolytes,
Boost.
what
It's the
plants
sports
crave.
drink one.
Yeah, it's a sports drink. It's got electrolytes and stuff
Just
in it.
It's just salty fruit punch essentially.
Yeah.
You.
So, well, no, it tastes good. I mean, have you ever had Powerade or Gatorade?
Yes, when I was about 8 years old, maybe.
What the heck? He doesn't like
drink water and whiskey.
Gatorade. Okay. Really?
And coffee. That's
Okay.
that's basically the three things that I drink, and
All right.
occasionally milk. I am a
Alrighty. Well,
wholesome boy.
I've had some sort of flu, just like chills and fatigue and muscle weakness and just awful, nauseous.
I had it when
Been
she
real
was
fun.
away at the,
Been real fun. Anyway, I'm slightly better now, but it has been nearly a week. I was
You sound way
great
too
last
old in
week.
the stream right now.
I sound old.
No,
I'm
no, all of us, like objectively speaking, and
everyone does sound like they're about halfway dead.
Oh, that's true.
oh
my. So, semaphore. Let's get roid into the news, shall we? I sure can't wait to get right into the news.
Let's get
I
right
said
into
into
the
the
noose.
Exactly. I need to do No, that's what I said, and look at this.
Yeah, but I said it
It's
louder.
funny when you say it. You
What's so fun when it
enunciate.
happens to you, eh, meme thief?
I know. So, more explosions reported in Lebanon following pager attack. More
Focus
device
saying spoons lie by the way.
Right. Device explosions reported in Beirut Wednesday, day after hundreds of pagers used by Hezbollah detonated, killing at least 12 people. According to reports, Hezbollah members' walkie-talkies. Were they walkie-talkies or
Everything.
it was
What I've
like
seen.
everything? Yeah.
Anything that they were using, like
Personal
beepers,
radios. Yeah, booby trapped
walkie-talkies, etc.
in advance by Israeli intelligence services and then delivered to Hezbollah were part of the militia's emergency communication system, which was supposed to be used during the war with Israel, sources said. Do you know if Hezbollah bought any bidets for their toilets? Damn. It's just a bizarre news story, right? That a bunch of people died, but
From what
it's
I
so
remember,
weird.
it's like 12 people killed and like 2,800 injured.
Yeah, I think that do they have the... Actually, over here they might have the number, because this is the updated one.
Oh,
you know how many
it hit
people...
a fucking funeral and killed a child.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Rocked again by exploding devices as Israel declares new phase of war. One of the things, guys, is I'm a little bit nervous about opening up articles I haven't already looked at because there's pictures, and the pictures will get us immediately yeeted because they're very graphic. So, yeah. 450 wounded in the second wave. How many were in the first wave? So at this point, though, it's hundreds of people who've been wounded. 14 killed on this, says this article. It's AP.
I think the initial wave was something like 2,800 people, from what I have read.
2,800, you're right here. 12 people killed, 2,800 wounded. See, I'm nervous about the pictures. Second wave also deepens concern over potentially indiscriminate casualties caused in the attacks, in which hundreds of blasts went off wherever the holder of the pager happened to be. Homes, cars, grocery stores. Yeah, we get the... Killed doctors, nurses, paramedics, charity workers, teachers, office administrators. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like you're not allowed to just liberally disperse
Hell no.
like fragmentation devices into civilian areas.
Yeah. Yeah, the attacks are widely believed to be carried out by Israel targeting Hezbollah have also killed civilians, have hiked fears that the two sides' simmering conflict could escalate to all-out war. I mean, I don't know. 2,800 wounded. So that's it says like 26 dead. For confirmed 26 dead, and then over 3,200 plus wounded.
From what I've been told, they were specifically timed so that they would ring for a couple of seconds and then go off, because the idea being you would lift up the phone or what have you to head height.
Yeah. And this is a good question to ask Jimmy. Why did they keep these devices after yesterday? I mean,
well, because the people who got hit in the first wave, they weren't. Well, how the hell are they going to let their friends know?
Right, expecting that wouldn't happen again. Yeah, page him, I guess. Just, yeah, crazy.
That's how most of these like cells can only keep in contact with these devices. The whole idea is not just to kill people, because obviously this is an incredibly inefficient way to do it. It's also to disrupt communication.
Yeah. People were posting pictures of people were posting pictures of Hassan Piker with like a bloody.
Is that what that was?
Wound on his head. Yeah, I don't know if that was like from a bit he did or something. I don't think he actually had an exploding. Well, maybe he did. I don't know. He supports terrorists. Although again, it wasn't just terrorists who got blown up in those. Yes, Israel's Mossad agency planted the explosives. Yeah, that blew up in pagers across Lebanon on Tuesday, according to multiple reports. Battery-operated devices were imported by Hezbollah months earlier with members of the Lebanese militant group and political party using them instead of phones due to security concerns. Well, how did that go? The scary thing is, though, too, I mean, I guess these are pagers or walkie-talkies or whatever you want to call it. But if Mossad's able to do this, what's stopping the CIA from being able to do this to your cell phone?
There was also some concerns earlier. They said it was like they basically intercepted the delivery on its way into the country and put explosives inside. But that sounds like bullshit. That when the thing's already filled to bursting with lithium. It sounds like they can just put in a thing to overclock the battery so it just pops. I mean, some of them seemed a bit potent for that.
Yeah, I'm
So, like, I would have to. I know, obviously, they're going to argue like, as Hezbollah has is a terrorist cell. It's obviously you can just act on them indiscriminately as they're not good. They're not, in the military sense, good actors. So therefore, you can do whatever you want to them. But it's a bit questionable.
I can send this to Bill because Bill will find this funny.
You sending to Bill something funny?
Yes.
All right. Were you gonna share with the class?
Yes.
What is this? Oh yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be talking about. Well, we're talking about this tweet actually, not Destiny's response to it. I don't have that until just now. But
I forgot. Lee actually follows me.
But I did have this tweet that he's responding to here in the show notes. So speaking of, I didn't have much to say about the beeper explosion other than it's bizarre. But let's move on to the obvious big American news.
Batteries don't explode; they just burn very fast. And that would be more questionable because obviously you're not actually allowed to use incendiaries like that in war anymore. You're not for anti-personnel use. You're only allowed to use them for anti-material.
A couple people have said that your audio is low, Spoon. So
there you go.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, woo.
Oh wait, now.
Speaking of, I should pull up that because I know I'm going to need it later. Let's bring up that soundboard. Make sure I got my soundboard.
This is what I normally sound like when I'm no longer yelling.
Well,
Boom.
Let's move on to the big American topic, I think, which is
drink. Oh, hello, vision of beauty.
Melania Trump, yes. So this is actually not.
Didn't mean Don Lemon.
Well, yes. Oh, are you sure you didn't mean me to mean Don Lemon there?
I don't know what's more offensive, that I'm liking a person of color or because they're gay.
So this is actually.
As we all know, support my racism.
We'll get over
best friend. You know that.
Well, we can go through some of the. We'll go through some of the specifics. You have jungle
fever because you're a traitor.
Whatever. Get over it. So.
And Don Lemon's not a woman, so.
Ordo Manus, the only topics we covered so far was the exploding pagers, which we didn't have much to say about. But so I'm sure everybody knows at this point that there has been a second attempt on Donald Trump's life at his golf course. and we'll go over some of the specifics that are really strange about that one. It's already, there was so many weird stuff about the first assassination attempt. Like, how did nobody see the guy on the roof? You know, all of them coming out and immediately saying, "Oh, he's a." Well, apparently, no one cared. Well, you know, their thing is they didn't see him. There was a lot of weirdness around the first one, of course, and then this one's even weirder. But I want to start with this. This is Don Lemon reacting to. Just let me zoom in here to make sure we can see this clip. Whoa, excuse me, he's a little bit sick. This is him reacting to Melania's statements about the first assassination attempt. Look at his face. So this is, remember, this is how they feel.
Fine wine.
Yeah, they say black don't crack. Wow,
The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy.
What is she saying that would make you have this reaction?
She's talking and she's a woman.
But no, but about what she's saying,
I don't think
there was an
him.
attempt on Trump's life. His ear was shot. Someone was trying to kill him, and he's making these gestures like, ugh, so boring, oh, so dumb, so stupid. But he doesn't say anything this entire time. He just makes faces. They don't even have arguments. They're so past having arguments. They just act like a child.
I just
want to say that this aged really well. That he's acting like attempt on his
In a
life.
nutshell, they don't actually have what they say means nothing. It's all about expression and getting people to reflect it.
Right, but his body language here is what he's trying to convey is, oh, so stupid. No one tried to kill Trump. He was never in any danger. That's what I get from the body language, right?
Help but wonder.
Rolling his eyes.
Why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech?
There
is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
Really? This is his response.
I have a more promise or a more feasible suggestion, maybe. Mm-hmm. That he is a homosexual gay man, and that this is all that he has.
Yeah. What? That aged like a fine milk, because of course there was a second attempt.
Did you see he was in New York, like putting his book on like a lamppost, hoping people?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like, dude, it is unbelievably cringe.
Hey, when I said I want to see Don Lemon on a lamppost, that's not what I meant.
So here's some of the
hanging from it. Anyway,
well, here's some of the information about the alleged would-be assassin, Ryan Routh.
This dude glows.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
58 Hawaii, but on the but is voting in like South Dakota, isn't he?
No, it's
North Carolina.
North Carolina, yes. So he's registered to vote in both states, as far as we can tell.
Yes, which is very strange.
Yeah, which is very strange. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Of course, doesn't matter. They're allowed to do whatever they want if you're a leftist. Now, just like with the first guy, the immediate response, as we'll see, was to just call this guy a disgruntled Trump supporter.
Which doesn't even make any sense.
And here's what the crux of the argument is for the first dude. Was, well, he's a registered Republican. Well, he registered Republican this year to vote in the primaries, which, by the way, is a well-known form of tactical voting.
Yeah.
They are voting because they wanted to vote for who? Nikki Haley. Both of these people supported Nikki Haley, allegedly, and not because they really like Nikki Haley. By the way, they just didn't. They hate Trump.
War, they more aligned with the
well,
people
of course,
who are currently simping for Ukraine. I wonder why they would be in favor of Nikki Haley.
Yes. So these people were voting tactically for Nikki Haley, not because they're Republicans. And we're going to see all kinds of stuff from this guy, not because they like Trump.
They get erections
when they like war.
Thought of people dying, especially if they're from Russia.
Yes. So the alleged gunman who authorities said targeted President Trump while he golfed in Florida on Sunday afternoon previously declared on social media that, quote, democracy is on the ballot. Oh, gee. Where have I heard this exact verbiage before, by the way?
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Basically from any outlet the past, I don't know,
4
years?
CNN, any lefty outlets, your CNNs, your MSNBC. This has been their rallying cry, and we're going to see some real brain rot on this from someone a little bit closer to home in a little bit. But this has been their rallying cry for years. It's democracy. And as we always say, or at least I always say, and Espino agrees, when they say our democracy, what do they mean? our
oligarchy.
political
Regime.
hegemony. Yes, our oligarchy, regime. Our regime. Sure. Any one of them. Yeah, Gary Busey tried to kill Trump. I know. What a time.
It's like if Gary Busey played Jeffrey Epstein.
Oof.
Oof. That's actually pretty accurate. Now that I look at it.
Lengthy criminal record in North Carolina. Frequently posts about politics. Exclusively donated to Democrat candidates. And causes dating back to 2019. He's a frequent donator to Act Blue. Guess who else donated to Act Blue? The other guy who tried to shoot Trump. His name's escaping me. But honestly, fuck him, so I don't care. He bashed Trump in an April 22nd post on X in which he declared, democracy is on the ballot. We can't lose. He advised Biden, 81, in an April 22 X post when he was still running for re-election to run a campaign around keeping America democratic and free. God, they keep freaking using that word.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
He claimed Trump wants to make Americans slaves again, master.
When were they ever that?
Well, I mean, some Americans were slaves. Sure.
Yeah, but who owned them?
Ooh, good question. And who fought against the Civil Rights Act? I don't know. Democracy is on the ballot. We cannot lose. He wrote a similar slogan, similar to those commonly used by Biden and Harris. Yes, they are the ones who kept using this verbiage.
This next two lines are the most, like,
Aydin, can you zoom in? It's really fucking tiny.
Really?
Yes. There we go.
We cannot afford to fail, Routh continued. The world is counting on us to show the way. What globalist slop.
Yeah. This is similar to language Harris continues to use on the campaign trail on August 29th. She said in a rally in Savannah, Georgia, we are fighting for our democracy. I mean, that's just one example, but they've said it a billion times.
It just means you're voting lefty. That's all that means.
Yeah. On July 31st, she said in a Houston event that our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot and so is democracy.
But who's she?
After using identical wording as sorority event the same day.
Harris.
Oh,
yep. Tom Fitton, president of the conservative legal group Judicial Watch, told the Post, it is no coincidence that Routh repeated Kamala and Joe's extremist rhetoric against Trump. I mean, they repeated the democracy lines, but there's other stuff too we'll get to. At this point, it is an inexcusable incitement, excuse me. So he survived the assassination attempt. Trump sent a statement to supporters saying he was safe and well. Suspect was identified. Routh has a history of supporting progressives and causes online, has made 19 donations to Democrat candidates since 2019.
I will say this is not up to date because I do know that it's not an AK. It was a bubbered SKS.
Was it not? So he
had improvised armor made from roofing tiles.
They don't actually have the list here from. They don't have the list here from Act Blue on.
You're gonna play carryover.
We've got a video that shows it, but if you could, this is all public because when you make donations to PACs, it's public. Secret Service agents spotted and opened fire on him. Trump's security detail was lighter because he isn't the sitting president. That was according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff. Despite him being shot at, a month and a half ago. But he's not the president, so we gave him light security.
Right.
And by the way...
This schedule was not public.
Yeah, no one knew when Trump was going to be, that he was going to be there that day. But he somehow did, and he was waiting in these bushes for 12 hours.
And furthermore, why does he have firearms to begin with? He's a felon.
He is a felon. He's not supposed to own firearms.
Why is he registered to vote if he's a felon?
Why is he registered to vote?
I didn't even think
in two different states. He's registered to vote in 2 different states. He owns firearms despite being a felon. How did he know that Trump was going to be at the golf course this day?
And he had it was an expensive firearm. It was a cheap bubbered SKS. However, he did have all this. He had 300 rounds of ammunition, which is not cheap these days. A SKS, which is not a very good setup, and some improvised armor, despite the fact that his roofing company back in Hawaii is going bust.
He did tweet
I'd
at Biden.
Know how the hell did he make it to Hawaii?
Yeah, I don't know. It's odd. Well, yeah, because his job. Yeah, we'll go over that. Like his business doesn't. He's broke. So how do you get this money to fly around and do all this travel? We'll watch that video that just summarizes it. But I mean, it's a lot of things that really activate my almonds. Tweeted at Biden that he should visit the victims of the Penn rally where Thomas Matthew Crookshank was his name, opened fire, and attend the funeral of the 50-year-old firefighter who was killed. See, I just think that's him just saying that shit to be like, go do that because it's a good look, right? Obviously. show the world what real leaders do. Exactly. You don't give a damn about Cory Comportore and his family. You just know that it's a bad look. And then just went and did the same thing, apparently. He also tweeted at Trump on June of 2020 that while he supported the Republican in 2016, he was left disappointed by his tenure in the Oval Office.
Oh, a fucking shit post as long as old as time. The disaffected ex-Trump supporter. Bullshit.
That's what it's always... Look, okay. Spoon, do you get these comments? Because I get them all the time.
From?
I get them all of the time where it's something like, wow, I really used to like your content, but this is... and then it's just on some video, but this is so bad. I guess I have to unsubscribe unless you say the things that I want to hear. When it's like, by the way, everybody here who watches my mainstream content, my mainstream channel content, sorry, I'm a little under the weather, like I said, knows that all I do is read statistics. And Bill writes jokes. That's it.
Yep, I'm sorry.
So if you don't like, if something I've said has offended you, then reality offends you. Then statistics offend you. And I'm sure, do you get these comments though, Spoon, where it's like, you better basically like acquiesce to whatever, and say whatever I want to hear, or I'll unsubscribe. Like you have some, like that has some power. Oh no, I've lost a subscriber. And it's like, you probably aren't even subscribed in the first place. Not that I care. But this is that same tactic of, oh, I totally voted for you in 2016. I was hoping you'd be a good candidate. You've never gotten those comments?
No, because everyone kind of knows I'm a monarchist. That's fairly open. That's not a secret. And secondly, anyone who knows me, if you said that shit in my comment section, I would just tell you to fuck off.
Aydin's fan base, she keeps getting like posted into like on lefty YouTube by mistake because people misinterpret like thumbnails.
Yeah. Routh chipped in money for Democrats running for office and liberal causes since 2019. I mean, maybe this is true, but to me this sounds like concern trolling, considering everything else. He contributed more than $140 on the Democrat fundraising platform Act Blue, the Federal Elections Commission filing show. Records do not list an employer.
Oh, don't worry, that's going to get even worse.
Yeah.
Because he's got a side hustle where he spends even more money than he and gains nothing. Mm-hmm. But we should get to that.
Routh described himself on LinkedIn as mechanically minded and enjoying ideas and innovation and creative projects with artistic flair. Now, I want to say something, by the way.
Flair.
Yeah. I want to say, clear something up for a minute. When Cory Comportore was shot, some people who were, let's just say, some people immediately wanted to dig in through his social media to find an excuse, and I'm just going to be clear about what it was, to find an excuse as to why it was okay for him to have been murdered. Some people continued to dig through footage to try and disprove that he jumped in front of his family or he protected his family anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Dev.
Uh-huh. But Destiny did as well. So let's just combine them and just call them Destiny in this instance. Well, Dev apparently really wants to be Destiny or like take his place, and we'll get into that
He's got to stretch that skin suit awful far.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think it'll be a bit loose, right? Well, I guess if Dev's wearing Destiny's skin suit, that's not gonna fit.
It's not even like a hat.
No, yeah, I don't even think you're not getting that on. No. Routh was spotted by the Secret Service agents. But anyway, like, look, my point is though, it's different to look into the background, history, motives of a potential killer or an actual killer. It makes no sense to look into the background and history of a victim. I think that's pretty clear. Like, there's a really clear moral distinction there. Because if you're looking, the only reason that you would look into the background and politics of a victim is if you're trying to excuse or justify their death. Why we're interested in the motivations of a shooter is because it can help us understand it. Just like with the, it was only very recently, after over a year, I think it's been, since the Tranifesto. It was finally released, or at least portions of it, and it was about what we expected, But that was obviously covered up, and people were like, "Why do you want to know about what this person's motivations were?" Because it matters. Because they killed people. I want to know why this person felt that they needed to go shoot up a school. Yeah. When you're talking about a tragedy or a potential tragedy, what's important is understanding why the killer did it. And I know some people will say, well, don't give it any attention or something because you're glorifying these people. Well, this guy's alive. This one they took in live.
For now.
So, for now. Yeah, I'm sure he'll last long before the CIA gets to him. I mean, his social media account was also filled with nonsensical tweets and replies while also voicing strong support for Ukraine in its war against Russia and Taiwan and its struggle against China. One reply to ex-owner Elon Musk seemed to suggest purchasing a rocket from the billionaire. I would like to buy a rocket from you. I wish to load it with a warhead for Putin's Black Sea mansion bunker to end him. Can you give me a price, please? It can be old and used as not returning. So here's his assassin's nest. Yeah. He claimed on X that he tried to sell the idea of having former Afghanistan troopers fight for Ukraine and Russia. He was denied multiple times before giving up after 6 months.
He wasn't trying to sell the idea. He was actually paying them.
He went to Ukraine. He visited Kiev and was willing to go to the front lines if he were permitted to do so. In a 2022 interview with Newsweek Romania, Routh, wearing an American flag-style t-shirt, spoke about recruiting others to fight in Kiev.
He's also 56 years old.
58, yeah.
Pushing
Same shit.
60, and he's running around war zones.
The question as to why I'm here, to me, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. It's about good versus evil. Oh my god.
Folks at home, if you ever find yourself thinking like this...
You know why. Yeah.
In the Newsweek interview, he literally said it's like a movie. Like, those were his actual words.
Mm-hmm. We need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with Ukrainians. In an interview with Semaphore, why does he have all these interviews, right? With Semaphore, a year later, Routh expressed frustration with Ukrainians. Ukraine is often very hard to work with, he said. Many foreign soldiers leave after a week in Ukraine or must move from unit to unit to find a place where they are respected and appreciated. Oh, gee, why do you think that is? Because a lot of the people who go there are idiot leftoids who think it's going to be like playing Call of Duty.
And like to do things like post on Reddit about where they're stationed without deleting the metadata and getting artillery drawn down their location.
Or keyboard warriors who don't have any idea how to deal with actual conflict. Over that. It's like the Redditors going to Ukraine and posting pictures of them hiding in schools, which is illegal. Mm-hmm. Like just various instances of them posting just clear evidence of the Ukrainians breaking the rules of engagement and breaking the rules of the Geneva Convention. So he was a supporter of Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley, according to posts of his, which again, understand why. That is anti-Trump. That was the whole point. Anytime you find one of these people, and what you're registered as in the primary season does not matter because it's a form of tactical voting, so you can vote in the primaries against the person you really hate. But of course... let's look at his social media posts right now. I got these mixed up in order. Look at some more of these social media posts. God, what a loser. Oh my god.
He looks like someone that's done a lot of drugs.
Yeah. They've already scrubbed his Facebook page. Watch it disappear in real time. Yep. Well, bye-bye. Now, does Facebook or Twitter do this? Really, Facebook. Does Facebook do this? If there is a right-wing shooter, do they do this? No.
Well,
they archive all that stuff. I mean, they'll claim to be one, but once things start to look bad, your campaign. This is a post. Your campaign should be called something like KADAF. Keep America democratic and free, right? That's for Joe Biden. CADF.
Gaddafi. Make it sound as much like Gaddafi as you can.
Right, Massa. Trump should be Massa. Make Americans slaves again. Master. Massa. Wow, how clever. Yep. Biden, Harris supporter. Right. I mean, show the world. I guess we did read most of these.
Should we go on to the someone's recap on the matter?
We have a video, yeah. But yes, he was trying to recruit people to go fight in Ukraine as well. But it's not just this. There's so much of this in terms of we went over most of these, but also he wrote a book in which he encouraged the assassination of Donald Trump. The book, published in 2023 about the way in Ukraine, Routh claimed that readers were, quote, free to assassinate Trump. No one here in the U.S. seems to have the balls to put natural selection to work or even unnatural selection, he wrote.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Yeah. His book titled Ukraine's Unwinnable War.
That's the first honest thing you said.
Yeah. The book itself is full
Covers do
full
lie
of
as well.
mentions of the former president, whom Ruth calls a fool and a buffoon. In one section, towards the end of the 291-page work, Ruth discusses Iran and lamented the end of the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plans of Action, commonly known as the Iran deal. The deal, spearheaded by Secretary of State John Kerry, sought to restrict Iran's uranium enrichment capabilities in return of easing of American, European, and UN sanctions. I would like to celebrate the amazing work of John Kerry that very humbly and humanly handled the Iran deal, which elated me and the whole of the world. Did it?
Speak for yourself.
In May of 2018, however, the U.S. withdrew from the pact. Oh, give me a moment.
Remember when I think it was actually under Kerry's guidance with in the Obama administration, they sold a bunch of yellow cake uranium to the Russians.
Oh yeah, with the aid of Clinton, I think.
Yes. No help in some
Oh, I'm
way.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not feeling well. Which Trump had called disastrous, and he said could lead to a nuclear holocaust. I must take part of the blame for the retarded child that we elected for our next president that ended up being brainless, Ruth wrote. But I am man enough to say that I misjudged, I made a terrible mistake, and Iran, I apologize. You are free to assassinate Trump as well as... Yeah.
You just said, and Iran, I apologize. You apologize to a different regime because of who you voted for?
A regime that castrates gay men.
I mean, I don't even believe that he voted for Trump. But even if he did, he's a lunatic.
Blasted through your mouth.
Even if, like, this guy's insane.
Of course
And
he is.
Don't worry, not for much longer.
The evidence that he's
Mentally
one, he's
unstable.
crazy. First of all, he's completely mentally unstable. But obviously, this guy, their thing is just, oh, he voted for Trump. He said he voted for Trump. Okay, you sure about that? And even if he did, could that just have been an anti-Hillary vote because she's pro-war? Again, tactical voting. You are free to assassinate Trump as well as me for that error in judgment and the dismantling of the deal. No one here in the U.S. seems to have the balls to put natural selection. Yeah, we read that. So, I mean, what does this guy sound like to you? I mean, besides a lunatic.
Fruitcake.
Yeah, he is a fruitcake. But here's the thing. Unlike the other guy, Crooks, he's not even a registered Republican. He's been unaffiliated since 2002. So their last time they had to try and sweep this shit. This is USA Today, by the way. And they said, oh, Crooks is registered Republican again to vote in the primaries. This guy's unaffiliated. Tried to assassinate Trump as a Republican gun enthusiast. This post was shared a whole bunch of times.
I saw that gun. He's no enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Bubba SKS.
Yeah. Right, here's the, let me turn the speed reader off. Whoops, I need to scroll down. But yeah, where was the... Oh, here's the direct link.
What?
Facebook post. So this Facebook post that got shared more than 200 times in 2 days. This is the only one. I mean, I've never seen this going around. It's got 500... it's been shared a bit. But this was, of course... We'll see more of it, because there's more of it on Twitter, obviously. Of people just saying the same thing. He's a never Trumper despite voting for Trump. I mean, this was the narrative. It doesn't really look like that to me. But, of course... Where it is. Where is it?
Why did you vote for Trump in 2016 then?
Good question. He doesn't really explain it in all of his ramblings, does he? So here's some of the things people had to say, though. Right, so there he is, beaming with patriotism.
Like he looks like
this guy,
Ryan
Joshua
Johnson
Reed
did a lot of
Eagle.
crap.
Oh my God, he's insufferable. But there he is, doing that exact same thing.
Yeah, he looks like if Ryan Gosling was played by Gary Busey.
This is Ryan Routh, the man who is allegedly, tried to assassinate Trump today. He voted for Trump in 2016, according to him. He apparently supported...
Okay, before we continue, I just want to point this out.
Voting records are public. It's kind of the point of it.
Going by record, the guy who's on the roof was called Crook, and the guy who's a crook is called Routh.
Oh, yeah. Wowee. So when the MAGA world says they keep trying to assassinate Trump, what they mean is Republicans keep trying to assassinate Trump. Now this one's got
They
114,000.
didn't bring this up when the Bernie bros were rampaging, did they?
20,000. Yeah. Was it? And more of this should. He is an Elon Ramaswamy and Tulsi Gabbard super fan. What? Concerning. These people are so
Where did they even
stupid.
get that?
From what I just read you.
I don't think that one is real.
I don't think this one's real either.
Yeah.
I don't think. See, it says new. Yeah. So.
He definitely looks like he should be wearing a handkerchief around his neck, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wearing maybe, but should have one around there.
Yeah. This aged
About
well.
12 foot long.
Is a Republican. So this is the exact same thing. Republican gun nut. Yes, he's posted it here. This one's got 29,000 likes. This is the exact same message that was shared on that Facebook post. They're always in
You know how
lockstep.
we know he's not a Republican?
Huh?
Because if he was a Republican, every single one of you would be asking, why does he have a gun?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
interesting.
felon.
I've not heard the anti-gun rhetoric as much this time.
Yeah, if he was a Republican, you would all be shrieking. But for some bizarre reason, when he's taking a shot at president, you don't say shit. So,
Well, they sometimes they'll
Both.
yeah.
I remember the old days when the CIA would hire people, they'd give them an actual decent firearm, like a Daniel Defense AR.
how do you get the
now,
gun, though,
Now,
again,
like,
is the
Crook
question.
got some piece of shit AR that cost $200, and this guy got a Bubba SKS. The CIA must be running out of funding. Bought too many Gucci firearms back in the day.
Yeah.
Now you're running down to Gucci guns.
Been 2 hours since the would-be assassin was arrested. I'm going to stick my neck out and say he isn't black or a Democrat. If he were, his face would be everywhere on every network. Might have to take this back. Paul. You want to take it back? Trump supporter, imagine that. They're just still running with it. I mean, like, oh my god, we're so fucking dumb.
Yes. This isn't news.
This Republican on Republican violence has to stop. Of course they do this. It doesn't matter. But this is interesting. Uh-oh. Breaking. Ryan Wesley Routh's son says his father hates Donald Trump like all reasonable people. Orrin Routh tells the Daily Mail his father is not a violent person and didn't believe he owned a firearm.
Well, he probably didn't.
Right. Well, this is the first time I heard about it, he told the Daily Mail. Orrin said his father hates Trump, as every reasonable person does, adding, I don't like Trump either. Could you guys take over for a minute? I'm having hard time breathing.
He's my dad, and all he has had is a couple of traffic tickets, which we know to be bullshit.
That's a total lie.
That just tells me you don't know your father terribly well.
Or he's lying.
Well, to be fair, his father looks like a crackhead. As far as I know, so you don't know, I know my dad and I'm a dad, but that's nothing like him. He said he was at the beach, but I thought that meant the Outer Banks in Hawaii. He's not a violent person. He's a hard worker and a great dad. He's a great dude, a nice guy, and he's worked his whole fucking life. I hate this game every 4 years, and I think we all do. And if my father wants to be a martyr to how broken and disassociated the process has become from the real problems and practical solutions,
Martyr.
then that's his choice.
A martyr. I mean, this is his own kid saying he hates Trump. I hate Trump. I would be proud of him to have martyred
fucking
himself.
South Park.
Yeah.
Here.
Could you continue?
I'm not saying that's what he's done or what he's about. It's just my own rant for being fed up with it my entire adult life. South Park's at its best. Every 4 years, we're forced to choose between a turd sandwich and a giant douche, and it's all stays fucked in the same ways but different degrees, and we're exhausted and embarrassed by it all. He said, referring to an attempt on the life of the only president who didn't keep the rat race going.
Yeah. Should be hearing something here.
I think it's just it's a very far away view.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Right, this guy was taken alive. Don't worry, that's not going to stick.
Is that his son?
No,
Oh my
I think
god.
so.
Okay, I was gonna say it looks just like him otherwise. Slightly less haggard.
That's the best picture they could find of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the pictures we're seeing are the nicest pictures we could find of them, I think.
But yeah,
That
the
seems like-
criminal record are a little bit more than a couple of traffic tickets. Is this it?
No,
Oh,
it's
this,
not
no,
it.
sorry. That linked to it. You linked to the
That
wrong
was an
thing.
illegal migrant that beheaded someone.
They linked to the wrong thing. Thanks, Western Journal. I usually like you, but we'll see. We've got a video that also sums it up. We could just go to that, I guess.
Let's go for that.
Yeah. I mean, but just again, where have we heard this?
Hit Tommy Lee hard.
Democracy's on the ballot, we cannot lose. Democracy and freedom on the ballot in November. Literally, almost literally quoting Biden verbatim.
Yeah, so as who's it put that? Yeah.
But remember, Trump is the one using Hitler's language.
SKS used to come in crates and sold for $50 a pop.
Yeah,
they did. Let's
watch this video that goes over some of this stuff in more detail. This girl has done a really good job summarizing it. We went over. I want to make like she's got all the sources here, and this is of course a very interesting tie that a lot of people noticed, or connection that many people have noticed about both shooters, which is the ties to BlackRock. But also she has done a very good job of putting this together, and she does have the sources on the screen. Seems to be legitimate to me. I of course double check it, but this that's why we went over a lot of the stuff as well, because I wanted to make sure that this is legitimate.
Assassinations lead to one thing alone. So we see some similarities between the shooters. Both were donors to Act Blue, a PAC for the Democrat Party. Both managed to get within 500 yards of Trump. Both attempts were followed by the mainstream media kind of oddly downplaying the severity of the situations, and most importantly, Crooks was in a 2023 BlackRock commercial, and Routh was in a 2022 commercial for the Ukrainian militia that had been trained by the American CIA for the past decade and is funded.
Of course, we all know that. Now, I bring up my old Ukraine video from a couple years ago, where I had people telling me that was all BS, even though it's totally, it's on the books.
Well, contemporary to that video was also the debate in which the exchange of "we'll believe Biden's completely senile when he says so," and then he proceeded to say so.
Right. Oh, I mean, like that's the thing is I'd like people to rewatch that Ukraine video and see. Oh man, almost like I actually researched this stuff and looked into it.
Go back into someone's back catalog and see what aged like milk and what aged like wine.
I mean, there's some things that there's some things I've been wrong about. It's more often I'm more likely to be wrong about something political or geopolitical than I am about social science.
If you go back and watch all of Aydin's videos in a row from when I started writing the jokes, you can see the exact decline of my mental health.
By BlackRock. Here's the explanation. So for context, Ryan Routh was a construction worker in North Carolina that moved to Hawaii, has a house and a business there that wasn't making any money, so he was listed as unemployed. But he really cared about standing for Ukraine, so this former construction worker with no income, operating entirely alone, ran a website offering Americans $1,200 a month to fight for Ukraine, was illegally moving Afghani soldiers fleeing from the Taliban.
Again, apparently he wasn't able to get this to happen, but he certainly tried.
Someone succeeded because during the 2015 uprising, the Ukrainians were backed by your Maidan, I believe.
Yes, your Maidan. Yeah.
You had people running Mujahideen and Israeli flags side by side.
Yep.
In Pakistan and Iran to fight for Ukraine, dropped everything for months at a time to fly himself to Ukraine.
Yeah, where'd he get that money from? Unemployed guy who's registered to vote in 2 different states. A
plane ticket to an active war zone.
Took a plane ticket to Europe, despite being unemployed and making no money. Is able to afford to go to Ukraine. Is also able to afford to live. It's also able to afford these firearms. Weird.
Somehow coordinating with people enough to actually get them involved in an active fucking combat zone.
Yeah. Zeno asked how many copies of Catcher in the Rye did he have?
Good question.
And flew to DC to lobby for Congress to recruit soldiers for Ukraine. He also has about 100 criminal filings, including a 2000.
Yeah, there they are. So let's just go. She flashing mine on the screen for a second, but
She says charges filed, not specified.
Not specified. Not specified.
But he's got like a dozen.
But she does go over the. Most of them are just not specified.
Some of them are wild.
Possessing. What is this? Weapon of mass destruction. Class F felony. So this is any weapon. I don't know what this meant by this.
I accept that it didn't specify that he was a felon before, but I think something that gets you negated, really negates your ability to own firearms and vote is, the crime that the entire Western world destroyed Iraq for.
Okay, so everyone has been searching for this, of course. Oh, the North Carolina General Assembly website is down, I think, or at least it's going real slow. Let's see. Yeah, what did it mean by this though? Like, what is a weapon of mass destruction? Damn, the North Carolina General Assembly website is down. Weapon of mass. Just say, because people were searching for those.
Of course.
I'm going to look up I'm going to. Okay, a weapon of mass destruction is a nuclear, biological, or chemical weapon capable of widespread devastation.
Sure, but I'm looking at for what it is in the state of North Carolina.
That's a really unfortunate pause for the poor girl. She's doing good work.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, she's kind of blue stealing it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the face of everyone who believes this.
Yeah, here's also. Let me pull this up real quick. Just gonna blue steal on it. Sorry, I didn't realize where I paused, but here it is. Oh, it's easier. Okay. Let's see. Driver's license revoked. Driver's license revoked.
So you can't
Concealed,
drive either.
Yeah. Carry concealed weapon. Motor vehicle violation. Carrying concealed weapon. Hit and run. Carrying concealed weapon. Driver's license revoked. Resisting an officer. Driver's license revoked. Driver's license revoked. Miscellaneous motor vehicle violation. Driver's license revoked. How does he keep getting it back? Other misdemeanor.
These are all in 2002.
Yeah, this is just one. It's just the one screenshot. And then also in 2002, possession, weapon, mass destruction, class F felony. What?
When did he have that?
Initial.
It doesn't say. It just says. It doesn't say. It just says
2002.
class weapon of mass destruction. How did he get an AK?
April of 2002. 2000. Yeah. So a year after the towers fell.
Oh.
Less than a year.
This guy glows brighter than the sun.
So I think that's before the full scale. When was Operation Desert Storm?
Maybe maybe they're a little. Sorry, I feel bad for this woman. Let me just pull up a plant here while I mean, I can't get into the North Carolina General Assembly website right now. It's
because this is a year before.
Yes,
the
explosive
an
explosive incendiary bomb or grenade rocket. That's what I can read from the website preview. So it could be a bomb or a rocket, something like that.
I've heard people say pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb, yeah, okay.
But it has to be a fucking big pipe bomb, otherwise it's destructive device ownership.
Sorry, let me let this lady continue.
Weapon of mass
DRT's chimed in. It was a full-auto machine gun.
How do you get a... Thank you, DRT. How do you get a full-auto machine gun?
Why was that classified under weapon of mass destruction?
I'm not sure why it's a weapon of mass destruction either, but we're not allowed to have one, you know? So...
Oh, so a machine gun like those two M249s that were missing on the Pentagon budget that turned up in Las Vegas is shooting.
Also, DRT is a king for 2 says AIDS main content is peak best in YouTube. Thank you so much, man. And Lucifer the Doberman for 2 a Canadian says, can we get an extra based bill today? Bill's always extra based, but thank you.
I'm drinking gin as we speak. I'm getting there. I need to spool up.
Yeah, so you guys gotta make up for
apparently it was a unregistered full auto heavy machine gun, so something like larger than 7.62. Probably leaning towards 50 cal.
Jesus, because I'm a bit low energy today, guys. Like I said, I'm still recovering from this flu or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, we're back to this.
As most construction workers do, and he obviously still has weapons, and not only is he still allowed to vote, but to vote in North Carolina as recently as this year, even though he's a resident of Hawaii. And like most construction workers, he had a hunch where Trump would be on a Sunday afternoon and was waiting at the golf course for 12 hours ahead of time, even though Trump's schedule was off the record. The most probable explanation is tied to BlackRock. So in 2022, Routh was in a commercial that advertised the Yazov Battalion, which is a Ukrainian neo-Nazi militia.
Okay. I'm gonna, because I got so much crap for saying that about Azov. Look,
they are.
What the left will tell you is, no, they're just fighting for Ukrainian freedoms. They're using the symbols associated with this with Azov, which has ties that go back, which you can draw back to Bandera, who is a Ukrainian freedom fighter who was trying to, unshackle them from the Nazis. Okay. This is an extremely, extremely limited understanding of history.
Is that Hitler was pro-Ukraine because it was against the Soviets?
Well, he was pro-Ukraine in that he was wanted to fight the commies over it, yeah.
Yes.
And
'Cause
they try and claim that, at the end of his life, he figured out that, at the end of his life, because he realized that they were on the chopping block after everything was done.
Well, Hitler, in terms of the Nazis' plan specifically, Ukraine being the breadbasket, he believed it was part of the German Lebensraum. So he did want to, of course, conquer Ukraine, and in order to conquer Ukraine, now, was he a fan of Ukrainians? No, he saw them as subhumans. But, I mean...
After what we've seen, don't we all?
Well, they were Slavs, and that's, how they generally felt about Slavs. But, that being said, Bandera sided with the Nazis also against the Soviets. So what is the symbol of the Azov battalion, of Azov? It's what's called a Wolfspangle.
Wolf's hook.
Yes, also used by the Nazis. You can also find a lot of use of the Sonnenrad. And even swastikas being used by people associated with and troops associated with Azov. Now,
if ever you need to have the confirmation of the neo-Nazi element in Ukraine, check their tattoos, which are usually splattered over the nearest wall.
yes. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily means that the people involved actually are neo-Nazis or that they understand it, but yes, there are definitely neo-Nazi groups in Ukraine. But I just want to point it out that the left has been running defense for the last 2 years over Azov battalion's use of these symbols, including the swastika, but most predominantly the Wolfspangle and the Sonnenrad. If anybody else, who had walked out into the street and protested or something, flying a Wolfspangle in the West or a Sonnenrad, you think they would give them the benefit of the doubt of say it's a Ukrainian symbol? No, you're a Nazi. This is why it's always double standards, and they don't actually care. It's all lies. It's all theater. But I just wanted to give my quick aside about Azov. Again, you can watch my video on it. It's 2.5 hours long, where I go over a lot of that.
Trained by the CIA and funded by BlackRock. So what links Ukraine, the CIA, and BlackRock? Well, ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis, the dissolution of the Russian Empire has been an American priority because they have nukes aimed at us. Now, BlackRock essentially owns the US government, considering the top economic advisors for the Biden-Harris admin come from BlackRock. BlackRock wants the oil and rare metals in eastern Ukraine because it owns companies that sell oil and rare metals. So last year, BlackRock paid Ukraine $500 billion in exchange for all of Ukraine's main assets and put...
No, it was just to rebuild. It was to rebuild. It was out of the kindness of their hearts.
Yeah, like the Lend-Lease program that led to the Soviet bloc not collapsing and thus caused the Cold War. That went so well. Because also FDR's entire cabinet was completely infiltrated by Soviet spies.
Yeah.
Ukraine in permanent debt to BlackRock. And since BlackRock owns our government, our CIA is BlackRock's personal military. And troubled souls like Routh and Crooks are groomed to be useful pawns that exist to look like random eccentric people and take the sole blame for carefully crafted crimes like attempting to extinguish the primary threat to the mega...
I mean, yeah, look, she just put some of their imagery up on the screen. And now they're acting like, well, what do you mean? What, we didn't incite
the
this.
entire reverse foundation myth of the West is Hitler bad, but we're back in the horse that's... Now, with Ukraine, they were back in the horse that was in that one picture of Odin that Murdoch likes to use.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, that's a very complicated history there. But it is not just you.
We have a video on this. Don't worry.
What this guy said, what this guy exactly said was, I'm supportive of Ukraine in this conflict because it's black and white, good versus evil. Other conflicts aren't so complicated. No, this one's actually really complicated. Okay, it's 1,000 years of history between these peoples, and if you're talking about just this last 100 years, last 80 years, even that's really complicated. But World War II era and since is complicated. It's very intertwined, the history between Rus and Rus, right?
Threat to the mega monopoly that not only runs our government but the world. Hence, after Crooks
this girl's mega
based to be examined by the House Task Force, the FBI took the body and cremated it in secret. Not only law enforcement.
Even I didn't know that.
Not at all.
Why'd they? Well, MK Ultra.
Maybe.
Because guess what? LSD built him in the spinal column so
Yeah.
it can be tested for.
Yeah, they
Really
didn't want to be
easily.
testing for
And
LSD.
part of MK Ultra was figuring out if you pump someone full of enormous amounts of LSD, beat them, rape them, and torture them, and also basically put them in a sensory deprivation chamber and tase the shit out of them till you to the point where you're trying to demagnetize them. You can in fact just fuck someone's head up so badly that you can control them.
Well, I mean that's what happened.
The MK Ultra experiments, which one branch of which was for mind control, were a success. That should scare the shit out of you.
They've admitted to it. They've admitted to as much.
You can,
It's one of those things.
Flight
They have
Simulator has a whole video on it, a
US
breakdown
government.
of every single thing in MK Ultra, some of which were just bribes.
I mean,
Straight
it's
up just bribes.
like so you're a conspiracy theorist. The U.S. government would never experiment on its citizens, and it's like you bring up something like MK Ultra, and they go, "Oh no, that's a conspiracy theory," and then you go Tuskegee, and then all of a sudden that same person will like, "Oh yeah, that was terrible."
I remember when they started
fucking-
feeding plutonium
Excuse
to
me?
retarded children.
Well, excuse me. Yeah, like I'll find her name here. Like I can't see it on the TikTok right now because it's
Again, I'm gonna pass that one over to Flesh Simulator. He has a full rundown of all the horrid shit.
yeah. Flesh Simulator's done really good videos on it.
And the break
until 13
Yeah, check him out on YouTube. Sorry, let's.
it includes all shit like breakdowns of the people who spearheaded stuff like that in Operation Wandering Soul.
Yeah.
the body and cremated it in secret. Not only law enforcement knew until 13 days after. Nobody sat his parents down and asked them.
Her name is Joy Back Los Cruz Backup, or this is at least someone who's backed up her stuff, but Joy Back Los Cruz Backup. I'll spell it on TikTok, just in case you can't see it. Joy Back Los Cruz Backup is at least that's the account that is posting this, and that's that on TikTok. I think I spelled that correctly. But yeah, this is Turbo Boost.
Why their kid had bombs or how he got the money for this, and they never will. The crime scene was scrubbed. So if it wasn't
keeps
obvious
happening.
before,
Yep, well, it keeps happening. Just a coincidence.
Just the amount of times. Don't look into like Sandy Hook and shit. We bulldoze the site.
Yeah.
Every single
Right?
site of these every single shooting that looks
Look,
sketchy
I'm
as
not-
fuck,
I'm not
we
touching that.
bulldoze. I am. Fuck those
I
people.
can see. I can. Well, I know. I can
we
see
live
Alex
in a
Jones.
we live in a region with no slander laws. Fuck them.
Well, I can see Alex Jones and Infowars Live over here, and considering how much does he owe the families of Sandy Hook? $1 billion, quadrillion
They were
dollars.
literally aiming to get $2.75 trillion, which is a more debt than the majority of countries.
Yes, they were basically trying to ask him to pay more than most countries or many countries' GDPs, which
More
was
than
just.
the guy who did it.
I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm not a body language expert. However, as I always say about this, I am trained in reading body language as part of my training as a communication scholar, and I watched the body language of those families. They at the courtroom during that hearing, when they were announcing how much money they were supposed to get. They're never going to see a penny of that. By the way, how are you gonna get a quadrillion dollars out of it, or whatever it was, $1 trillion? Come on.
I think the idea is that they just.
I would say
Borrowed it.
whatever Alex Jones said, if he was right or not, doesn't matter. It is weird that they bulldozed the school immediately afterwards. That's
Trying to put
weird.
Info was out of business, and he's still there.
Yeah, well there he is
Someone
right
might
now.
have a grudge from the Bohemian Grove letters.
Yeah.
it should be obvious now that your government, the CIA, the FBI, the Secret Service are a unit. Not because they're all buddies and love each other, but because they're owned by the same people. So anyone that threatens them, regardless of party affiliation, is a target. So no wonder for years people have said Trump would be assassinated, and no wonder they refused to give Secret Service protection to a Kennedy. This is the mega monopoly versus the people. And
Yep, welcome to the oligarchy.
thanks to private media, we know that now. So the attempt to shut down any resistance is going to be stronger than ever. This is the totalitarians versus we the people. So
I mean, I don't care about the We the People stuff, but hey, that was really good. Let me just make sure. Yep, Joy back, Las Cruz back up. Yeah, really well put together.
Here's
On
the
that.
number I like to call. We need to join hands against the powers that be before they fuck us all to death.
By the way, how much How much time in prison do you think they're gonna try this guy for?
Oh, about 30 minutes before the camera shut off.
Federal gun crimes.
He's got a WMD
wait.
charge under his belt and was out later
Yes.
that year to get a fucking parking ticket.
What do you think? Okay, Chet, throw out some numbers. How many years do you think he's potentially facing in prison for attempting to assassinate, or months? I mean, I don't want to give it away.
Probation.
For the attempted assassination
put
of
it
a
this
former
way.
U.S. president.
Community service.
Okay, put it this way: he might be in prison long enough to never be seen or heard from again.
Do you think 12 hours count towards the community service that he spent in that bush?
Now, I would think, by the way,
He
that
golf course.
the attempted assassination of anybody, but particularly the attempted assassination of a former president, gets you locked up, for forever. People are actually underestimated, but 69, yeah. However, I do think negative years, yes.
This motherfucker actually rocked up to
Right.
the CIA motherfucker rocked up, glowing like a Christmas tree, with ceramic armor made from roofing tiles. They imagine being told, "Yeah, your job is to assassinate the president for us after we pumped you full of LSD." Here's a bob at
Spanish, I know
SKS
you-
and some roof tiles for defense against the fucking Secret Service. Admittedly, the Secret Service is all just a bunch of idiots from an office somewhere at this point, but good God.
Yeah, he'll hang himself in prison.
Imagine
he'll
what, okay,
vanish,
they say third time's the charm. That guy's going to have to run out there with a butter knife.
Right. So here's what they are charging him with, however. It is face up to 15 years if convicted on the first charge, a possible 5-year sentence for the second charge. The first charge is possessing a firearm despite a prior felony conviction and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. This is what he's being charged with. Just possession of the firearm.
Not attempted assassination of a standing political figure.
No.
Also, he's got price for weapons of mass destruction ownership.
Yep. Not attempted assassination.
I would
Attempted
remind
murder.
you that the people at Ruby Ridge had their son and mother murdered in front of them by ATF agents over a shotgun being cut down. But this guy, who is taking pot shots at presidential figures and has a WMD charge under his belt, is going to spend less time in clink than some of the January 6th guys.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like a lot of people have said in the chat, he'll be Epstein or he'll just disappear.
Well, he looks like Jeffrey Epstein anyway.
He does
to
look like
physiognomy.
Epstein, true.
I can tell you, folks, physiognomy's fucking real.
Yeah.
People shit on phrenology, but hey, looks don't lie.
Oh, I can show this now. Some of these pictures because it was really funny. I did talk about it a little bit last week, but I was at the Witten 2 weeks ago now. Has it been 2 weeks? Something like that. Did I talk about this? The right wing conference I attended in the UK.
Yeah, you did last week.
But there are no photography is very, very limited because you can imagine you have a right wing event, people are going to want to show up and fuck with you, right? Protest. So one of the things was the only way you could find out where the event was is you had to buy the tickets. The tickets were, I think, started at £440. Now that included room board and dinner and the attending the conference. But part of the reason for making it that expensive and making it up front so you can't go buy your own hotel, for example, is to dissuade angry, annoying leftoids from showing up, right? But there are finally some pictures now, and because I was talking a little bit about Dr. Dutton's speech where he's going to pull out his calipers. So there were some pictures, and I did find this one because someone did ask why is AA talking in front of this horrible picture of TV News. There's a couple of pictures just from the event. So some of them did come out. Oh yeah, his speech was very interesting. That was about is an engineer. I'm trying to go. And there's my hey in my silly outfit. Yay! It was really fun. There's Dr. Dutton. It was a really great time. Really good time. And then this one too. I did want to.
So here's the pitch.
Okay.
All will love me and despair.
No, don't say. Stop. What did you say,
Fucking
Bill?
Gatradriel.
Gatradriel.
I'm gonna give you shit because you wore a mantle and a fucking wizard sleeve dress to the goddamn right wing meetup. It's not a Ren Fair, asshole. Get with the fucking program.
It's like it's the Red Fair.
You look like a level 63 World of Warcraft character. I'm sorry. Listen, my raid gear got outdated because the stuff from quests here is better. I don't care that it's green quality, but the stats don't lie. I'm sorry. Bitch looks like she's on her way to a meet-up at fucking Silver Moon Inn, not the goddamn Witten.
Fucking A.
You look like you got kicked out of the P. No, you look like you got kicked out of an RP server. I'm sorry. Listen, look at this. Look, that's a face that really does say, "Listen, I'm sorry. I don't get armor proficiency."
What did you say before? It was Galadriel meeting with the Human Council or something like that.
Oh,
I like that. I liked it when you were being nicer
You
about
look like
it.
you're giving a TED talk to the Fellowship of the Ring.
I apparently made a woman in the audience quite angry because I said that women shouldn't be able to own property during the
Behold,
speech.
Fellowship 2077. Sorry, Fellowship 2070. That's just called Third Age 2070. Or Paradigm Shift Third Age? Paradigm Shift Third Age. Let's go with that.
Oh no.
Everyone looks like they're horribly depressed.
Oh no, it was a really fun time. Oh my, I had a great time. That was lovely.
You're not beating the female Dr. House allegations when you got reactions like that on the crowd.
Well, you probably can see my cane right off the side of the screen, or the side of those pictures. All right, let's get back to the matter at hand, there, shall we? And stop making fun.
It's not my fault you rocked up with the wizard sleeves.
I like that style of dress. I think it looks
I
classy.
refuse. I fellowship with the Burbs 24. like in the mithril lace. Now the chat's getting on it. Goddamn.
Yeah, that was good.
Academic age looks moments from self-unaliving. He's like a half second from grabbing that dumb mantle you have and noosing himself with it.
Oh.
Does the cane have flames? No, but I'm seriously considering getting one. I was actually considering getting one with flowers on it instead.
Oh god, Bill Pill has just been coined.
No, it was a good talk. It was a good UO live. That was on one of the panels for it. Would Evola destroy the ring? Oh my god, I'm getting away from this.
Do you even read Denethor?
Oh no.
Finally, Gil-galad sad.
Gil-galad said, "Oh my god."
There's going to be some deep boy later on. There's going to be some deep cut jokes. We've got a special segment today.
Well, yeah.
Solid Guernsey calls for aid. Yeah, we did in World War II, and no fucker answered.
And no one showed up. Wait, how long did it take until after the war was technically over?
The day got declared, and then everyone on Guernsey who was German went,
Why do right-wing ladies dress like lesbians or medieval princesses? Look, that's just how it is.
There are two genders.
Well, I usually dress like a lesbian, to be fair.
It's also a cane or a staff.
It's a cane. I swear.
You wouldn't deny a trad wife a walking stick, would you?
God. And here's the thing too. Speaking of,
sadly Wormtongue couldn't be there because Dev doesn't attend the actual function.
Actually, it's too bad Scrump's not here anymore to confirm this. But I started to at some point. Well, not with him, but just in my head, count how many Lord of the Rings references were made in people's speeches during this event, because it was a lot.
To be fair, the program did feature a screenshot from Excalibur.
Yeah,
they kind of primed shit. You didn't have that when you went, so you didn't have the excuse.
Oh, yeah. Frog Jupiter for 5 says, "I've heard about a third attempt on the God Emperor with a bomb in a van." Yeah, that's not. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but I've heard about that as well. I don't know if it's a hoax or not. Oh, and also, have you seen an SFO called The Grilled Cat Poultry? We're going to get into that. I didn't know he had done that.
I know only one other person who confuses cats and birds. And she's in this chat right now, so I'll try to speak further. Looking at LFG picture of Aydin looking through. Man, the chat's getting... I might have started a fucking
You've started something. Look... Damn it, Fellowship.
I like the LFG versions.
Yeah. My new video is going to be about... I'm going to finally get into all my MMO research, autism, about avatars and stuff. Because
why am I so much quieter? Because I'm not talking as much as Aydin, that's why.
Sorry. Here, do you want to read this? Well, this one's fine. This is just Trump blamed Biden Harris rhetoric for the last assassination attempt. Says he will save the country. This is just short. We know it. That's what Trump said, right? Is he wrong?
They're running out of crackheads. They're using all the crackheads just to try and kill me. Think about the welfare of your local crackhead.
Well, Lucy Lemonbug, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Or memberships, subs, memberships. Thank you so much. We looked at some of it. That obviously, the things that this guy was saying were things that he was directly quoting, more or less, from the Biden-Harris campaign. They use this verbiage all the time. I mean, go back again. I'll play it as always.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Cringe.
Yeah. But, so, Trump said that, which is true. And then, of course, Kamala comes back and says that, no, Trump basically, well, look at her response. I've been briefed on the reports of gunshots fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida. Glad he's safe. Really? Violence has no place in America.
Like how she's the one chiming on this and not Biden, because Biden's fucking off his tits on fucking amyl nitrate or some shit.
This you?
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
This is someone who's never seen his WWE promos. Trump can actually move pretty fast for an old guy.
Oh, Tenet, I want to get into this. I think we talked about it last week, didn't we? Tenet media stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you called him a threat to democracy and day one dictator. You own this. You call him a Nazi every day. Hey, Carl. Carl was there. Kamala Harris.
Now, folks at home, don't just because Carl agrees with us doesn't mean we're wrong.
No, Carl's speech was good. Why would you be glad she's safe when you repeatedly claimed him an existential threat to democracy and that he is like Hitler? Don't you want someone like that to be killed? Harris says people have rightly compared Trump's remarks on immigration to Hitler. Well, why would you say something like that if you don't want him to be killed? It's like, who do they... They actually know that they're not tricking anybody with this, right?
The Third Reich.
Yeah. But the thing is, they know that they're not tricking anybody with this. Because their side, the left, and it is the one thing I have consistently given them credit for as much as there is. The left mostly seems to understand that power politics is the only form of politics.
Yes.
So nothing else matters. Lie, cheat, steal, kill. As long as you have power, nothing else matters. And they get that. The right has these higher ideals of morality and justice and good and evil. They don't have any of that. Theirs is only power.
They think democracy is real because they're idiots.
But when they say democracy, again, what they mean is our political hegemony.
Yes,
so,
but the right is too stupid to get that.
Yes, the right thinks democracy is real.
And they have made a friend of horror.
Yes. Yes.
That's one thing I never got growing up when I watched Apocalypse Now, was I never quite got the full grasp of what Colonel Kurtz's whole speech was really about. But I've seen it now. It is making horror and terror both work for you. Something the left has mastered and the right has not the first fucking idea about. That said, what the fuck's she gonna do in that elevator? Suck him to death?
Yeah, well, she's certainly been good at that before. Is this not working?
Vans continue to make baseless.
So this is NBC News. Is this the threats? Is this the right part? No, this is the Springfield part. Did I put this in the wrong place?
Forehead, Jesus Christ.
The physiognomy on this man, he looks like
he
looks like Player 2 colors on Doctor from Revengeance.
I think this is it. It's in this clip. It's 50 minutes long, but it's in this where they blame Trump for it. NBC News does.
Literally
claims
half of his
about
face
Haitian.
Yeah.
His face.
Wait, no. Oh,
it's like Frozone got put in the microwave from Steins Gate.
Oh my God! Look, I controlled F through the transcript, and the transcript's fugged. That's how I came up with the wrong look at that. Dang it. It's earlier than it.
No, it's okay. We can keep roasting this guy. We're on a roll today.
Well, you sure are. Hey, let's make this.
Oh, by the way, the chat is still ripping into you. They said you look like a RuneScape NPC.
This comes just months after a gunman grazed the Republican presidential candidate's ear during a rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service was blamed for allowing that shooter to get too close. Tonight, we are tracking the late-breaking details, the political fallout, and what it means for keeping our leaders safe in America today. Let's begin with Kathy Park in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Tonight, the FBI investigating what they say appears to be an apparent assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump.
Apparent, really? Look, just the verbiage is so frustrating.
The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line.
As a precaution, agents rushed the former president to safety. According to sources, Trump was between the 5th and 6th hole when the incident took place.
Here we are on Wii Golf.
They have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to...
Outside the Trump International Golf Club, and Kathy, the security response understandably has been huge.
Lester, that's right. It was huge, but also immediate as well. At this hour, there is a large security perimeter around the golf course right now.
It's when he's talking to somebody else.
As the investigation presses ahead, but officials are saying there is no longer a threat with the suspect now in custody. Lester?
Kathy Park starting us off tonight. Thanks. I want to bring in Tom Winter now, our law enforcement and intelligence correspondent. And Tom, we're learning more about the suspect. What do we know?
That's right, Lester. 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials tell us that the suspect has been preliminarily identified as Ryan Wesley Routh.
I can't remember who he was talking to.
What are we hearing from the campaigns about all this tonight?
Well, let's start with the Trump campaign, Lester, which initially put out a short statement on gunshots in the vicinity of the former president, indicating he was okay, and then a fundraising email not long after.
Trump chiming in of Lamau missed me.
And also Lamau, give me money.
Also, can I just put a word out to my boy Cole Womack just for the line? Trump in that elevator would be like a pit bull in a child's playpen.
Message from Mr. Trump saying, before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe. The White House says President Biden and Vice President Harris have been briefed and are being kept regularly updated, with Vice President Harris writing in a post online tonight that she's glad Mr. Trump
maybe it is, because I think maybe the subtitle's just a little bit far behind.
Lester?
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you. Let me bring in NBC News law enforcement analyst and former Secret
I don't know
Service
where it...
agent
Now, sorry, guys. I was following this
now
transcript, and now I don't know where it is.
Former president and other presidential candidates, Abby.
I'll read it. How about this? Because they say that he inflamed it, that he deserved it.
Destiny was apparently saying that it doesn't count as an assassination attempt because he didn't get shot off.
Yeah.
To which I say, well, the guy's waiting there.
Hang on.
Like,
let me do this again.
I only planned to kill him. I didn't fire any guns.
Right. Let me. Where did I just get
work
this
the
from?
Court of law, Destiny, you fucking idiot.
Okay, here it is. I'll just read the transcript because I can't. I don't. It's bugged.
Vance continue.
It might have been in the. Maybe it was just like a second before this or something. But where transcript here. Damn it! Did I fuck this up? All right, I messed it up.
Let's keep roasting her for a fit.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't. How did I screw this up? But it is in this. I'm just gonna go. I'll just skip this segment because I don't know where the hell it is. But what they did say essentially was that it's Trump's rhetoric. It was the same thing. It's that same thing. It's Trump's rhetoric. Damn. Let me. Because I know where I got this from. Give me one more. Okay, Rose. Because I want to be right. I want to be right.
Okay, but no one's disagreeing.
You're a woman. Why would you start now?
Well, here, enjoy this then, because the reason was I wanted to illustrate that this is a. Now we all know this is a common theme. That he basically he deserved it. He provoked it. It was his rhetoric. Oh,
but yeah, like we've gone right from it didn't happen to it happened. It's a good thing.
There it is. It says it starts here, but I don't think it actually plays it.
In Ohio, this.
It says today's assassination attempt comes amid fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail and stuff. Is there somewhere else? But they did say it's rhetoric. Stop hateful rhetoric. Rhetoric. It's this term. It's Trump's hateful rhetoric, and that's that's why it deserved to happen. He deserved it. So who else has this? Of course, Destiny does, but so does wannabe Destiny, who could not wear his skin suit because it wouldn't fit.
Can you show the post where I ratio him?
Yeah. So both sides must turn down the rhetoric. We can't be having this shit again. Here's the thing: Democrats are saying nothing to goad people into trying to assassinate Trump. So this guy is also
except
a
all those
moron.
times they told people explicitly to assassinate Trump. It's not really goading if you just tell people outright to do it.
The rhetoric against Trump is actually far less hysterical than 2016 to 2020, despite Trump being much crazier this time. Evidence? What? Roidos will be extremely mad at me for saying this. No, I'd like you to back up your claims. But Trump keeps getting shot at because his own rhetoric creates a violent atmosphere. This is called... it's stochastic terrorism. That's what they're doing. He's created this violent... That's what they're saying. Trump is doing a stochastic terrorism. Meanwhile, they're the ones actually doing it. Have you heard that phrase, stochastic terrorism? I presume it's that when you don't actually do a terrorism, you basically like incite it, right?
It's the Trevor Moore bit of it's illegal to say it killed the president, and then he's getting more ornate. Like you should go to this building and use this mortar to drop.
Not because the Dems are doing anything to place a safety at risk. Really? Really?
What a surprise that these people are backed by the woman who wrote the song "Look What You Made Me Do."
Right.
Because this is wife beater rhetoric.
I mean, that's the thing. You constantly said he's a threat to democracy. He will be a dictator. I mean, he did say, I'll be a dictator on day one, but if you listen to the whole quote, he's saying, I'm going to fix everything, and then I'll be done with it.
Listen here, here's a list of all the despotic shit I'm going to be doing, because Charlie's in fucking charge now.
If he toned things down, he'd be less likely to get shot at. So here it is. He's to blame. You know who agrees with this insane take?
Yes.
The centrist. Trump absolutely uses the rhetoric of a dictator. Centrist.
Okay, what are these
Centrist.
people's views on Gabby Gifford?
Who
caught a slug to the skull?
No idea who that is.
I remember the Democrat who caught a fucking round to the skull in a shopping centre.
No, I don't recall that.
She actually recovered from it eventually. I think she's a Democrat anyway. Gabby Gifford. Let's see. Arizona's 8th District, House of Representatives, Democrat. Yeah, she's a former. She was a former Republican to Democrat. She's second cousin. She's one of Gwyneth Paltrow's cousins. She got shot in the head in an assassination attempt in Arizona. Some people out in the chat will remember Gifford because it was a really big story at the time. As people point out on Twitter from Kamala's debate performance, she has all the hallmarks of a narcissistic, domestic abuse, fucking convict.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember this case that you're talking about. I'm sorry. Trump absolutely uses sorry. I wasn't sure. What was the relevance to this?
Or how they react to that part when a Democrat got shot in the skull. Was it her fault?
Well, I'm sure they would say. I'm sure they would never have said so. Remember when what was it one guy from Trump's one Republican got shot at the baseball game?
Yeah,
he deserved it.
Because the Bernie Bros keep shooting the place up.
Oh, and again, remember, it's because the one thing that they get right is that it's okay to kill people.
They made a friend of
politics.
horror. They made they enjoy it. It's simple. These people would be in the fucking Congo cutting arms off right now if they had the chance.
Oh, Ace1918 made a video about this? Oh shit, thanks Cole. I haven't seen it yet. If you guys don't know, we have talked about it a little bit publicly. I don't expect it anytime soon. But
Dev's gonna make a truck video.
Myself, well, it's Scrump's putting it together, right? But I'm of course involved. Spoon, you'll probably we're doing a sort of big expose might be the wrong word. We are putting together a lot of information about the shit Dev has done and said over the years because
And we're not talking about railroads this time.
No, no. Well, okay. So Bill likes to accuse Dev of building railroads because he's a Canadian.
Everyone knows that the Canadians are all celestials.
And that all Canadians are Chinamen, of course. So therefore, this is the joke. I'm making this now.
Railroad building, maple syrup swilling, shepherd's pie munching mongrel.
Thanks, Bill. A leaf. You could have put anything there, and you chose a fucking leaf. So it's not gonna be. I don't know when it's gonna be out, but probably not for a while because one, I'm always sick, and I've got my own work to do, and two, Scrub has a day job.
This is Dev's major advantage, is because as someone who's been chronically unemployed his entire fucking life, he has way more free time than everyone else. Unfortunately, he's never used that time to grow a personality, so he continues to make the worst gaming streams made by mortal.
But it's the number of people he's managed to spite over the years for no reason.
And that will happen when you're a social parasite, and I say that unironically.
I mean, like Kershaw too. Just one example, but there's so many people. And Ace1918 has made good videos cataloging some of the really heinous stuff. Look, I used to be friendly with Dev, but here's the thing: I don't think you can be friends with Dev because, for as much as he calls me a backstabber, I think that's just a little bit of a thing called projection.
Well, yeah, because Dev will always be in conflict with everyone else. Completely opportunistically. The entire point of his career is to see who he can parasite off and then backstab, and everything he does is an eternal war with a projection of himself onto those around him. And building railroads too.
And building railroads. So yeah, Trump absolutely uses the rhetoric of a dictator. Again, example, fight, Maybe the fight example. You want to pull up the video of all of the Democrats saying fight? Is that the rhetoric of a dictator? The fact that he said he'll be a dictator day one, you always cut off the rest of it, and what the context was. He is plenty responsible for turning up the heat. But let's not pretend that many Democrat figures didn't do the same. Here's the centrism. Especially in the wake of George Floyd, every prominent Dem was saying rise up and go riot in 2020. That is true. You're talking about 2020. Everyone is speaking contemporaneously. If you have to stretch back to 2020 to both sides of this thing, I think it proves the point. I think it actually proves the point. The Democrats seem to have smartened up and turned down their rhetoric. It has been 4 years. The MAGAs have not. He is a threat to our democracy. He uses Hitler's language. Hitler's language. That was the Skibbity Biden thing.
I think anyone who's responsible for Skibbity Biden, that is cause enough to genocide your race off the face of the earth. I think whoever that is, I want their genome ended. I want that. That should demote you down to like the level of like Aboriginal Australians in terms of like you're no longer a member of the human race. Back to the fucking woods, throwing sticks at things for you. Can we I think anyone responsible for Skibbity Biden should be kicked out of the human race for pushing.
But that they pushed that horrific meme, and that the specific thing that said over and over is Trump is using Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's
everything
language.
the Democrats have ever put out in the last 4 years is like something that is so cringy that it seems like an attempt to make a sentence that would kill someone.
Yeah.
Like if you even perceived it, it would be so tragically unfunny. It would wither you to dust.
Look at this though. He is a threat to our democracy. He uses Hitler's language. Isn't toning it down as much as people might want to forget those were said. They're still saying them. They've never stopped. The other question is, though, are these accurate statements? And here's Spoon's response.
No, you stupid ass.
He got ratioed in another part of this thread, I think, by Spoon. Didn't you? I don't know if it was...
Yeah, here it is. Hold on.
Yeah, send me the thing. Because obviously this is...
It's the last one that's linked there.
Okay, 1 second. Over in the Discord. Oop.
It's very simple ratio as well.
Mm-hmm. Shut the fuck up, Tev, you're retarded. Oh, this was to the original tweet. Yeah.
Let's put a little like on there.
Yeah, just no, you tedious tard.
That.
Yeah, no, fuck
so.
you, commie.
Yes.
Also,
no, and it literally doesn't prove. Literally, no, it doesn't prove your point.
Also, look at this one. I asked Dev to actually give me an example of this. He obviously will not answer the question because Dev is a bitch.
Too busy installing
I got sent
railways.
something that I shouldn't have laughed at, but I did.
I asked him a very simple question.
To me. So I'm trying to see where we're at here, how he ended up here. Yeah, he retarded. It's honestly shocking that after 2 assassination attempts in as many months, anyone could still be unwilling to just call the liberals a terror group. Jesus. The Floyd riots convinced me. This is just the post-credit sequence. It's willful blindness. TDS has rotted Dev's leaf brain. Question mark? I've had no problem calling BLM and Antifa terrorist groups, especially after the summer of love. Sure. Issue is, Dev, you have no problem getting behind the politicians who let them have carte blanche to burn the country down. Well, they forced the rest of us law-abiding citizens inside during lockdowns, shutting down schools and businesses. You'll say, I'm sure you can do this, but if only the opposition wasn't worse, bro.
Basically, you're just excusing all of that because the opposition is worse.
How?
That is a shitty cop-out, Dev.
But how? You have to explain. You have to qualify. How? Qualify your statement. If you're going to say something,
why would Dev ever qualify a statement? He's never qualified his fucking life.
No. Where's the trucker video? Go ahead, Spoon. Read your tweet.
Yeah, that's why I asked him how the Republicans worse. As a matter of fact, let me see if he'll balls to answer this. He won't, by the way, because he's a sackless little shit. What would you expect the Republicans to actually do with power that makes them worse? Because he constantly just says shit. I want to say to him, what is this horrid abuse of power that you think the Republicans would actually do?
And then he just leaves these conversations and pats himself on the back thinking he won.
There's a reason why I had to leave Archer's stream when he was on there, and the entire chat literally called him a bitch because he wouldn't be on stream with me.
I don't think we talked about this, but you were on Archcast, and then
the entire chat said
Dev left. Right, well, Dev left, didn't he?
Yes, and the entire chat
and then
was
you
like,
came
oh
on.
my god, he's scared of Spoon.
And then you came on, and then Dev came back on, but he demanded you be kicked before he come back to the stream.
I don't know if that's true, but
that's what it sounded like.
I asked somebody, would Dev be that petty? And I was just told yes.
I'm
going to even here. I don't think that Arch would throw anyone under the bus unduly unless he was being lent upon. Because I've met Arch, I've done an interview with him when I was.
No, Arch is a nice guy.
He's one of the nicest people at the Skeptoid sphere.
But I think he doesn't want to cause conflict with Dev. I mean, he does. Look, Simply Green, you're right. He does shit on Dev quite regularly. Because, so does everybody. But
I think that Dev's whole caveat on being on the show is I want to be on and I can argue with the normies, but I never want to argue with someone on as a peer.
Oh no, I'll tell you why Dev is on anyone's stream, whether it's Side Scrollers or Archcast. It's because he brings in super chats from people who hate him and just want to say Dev has bad opinions.
He's a walking pinata.
He's a mongrel in the stocks.
He prints money, is what it is. He prints money for streams.
I do wonder how much dirt he has on people as well.
That is one thing I wonder as
well.
All
it will take is someone to say, "Oh, such and such is a retard" over something you fucking screenshot out of context and post it to that other person. I guarantee.
I think Arch just doesn't want to cause conflict, but also Dev prints money from people sending hate super chats.
Well, he is Norwegian. I expect him to be calm.
Also, the man works in robotics. He has to be calm.
But this is unrelated, sort of. But remember, Trump is the threat to democracy. Meanwhile, the Oregon DMV registered more than 300 citizens to non-vote. This is just one example. They're doing it. They've been doing this for forever. This is just a small example. But we knew that they're registering non-citizens. They've already said they're going to do this. I just happened to see this article today. But democracy matters. Trump's the threat to democracy. But when we cheat, when we register illegals to vote, that's democracy. That's not a threat. And, Trump's the threat to democracy. That's why the U.S. Secret Service is investigating Elon Musk over a tweet that he deleted, which was, "And no one is even trying to assassinate Biden/Harris." Or excuse me, Biden/Kamala. Well, one lesson I've learned is that just because I say something to a group and they laugh doesn't mean it's not going to be that hilarious as a post on X. So he said that he's implying this as a joke. However, it's a good question. Right?
Well, the right wing are meant to be a bunch of gun nut psychopaths.
Right.
But the only people who seem to be taking pot shots at people are leftoids.
That's also the reason why they miss.
His point is, no one's tried to do so. That's the point he's making, and no one will. And now the Secret Service is investigating Elon Musk over this? Dev can say all that shit, which continually, where
something just cropped up on my feed. Those Israeli, bomb walkie-talkies also cropped up in ICOM Corporation in Osaka.
Interesting.
So either that got misattributed or someone in Japan just got iced by the Israelis.
Oh, interesting. But my why I wanted to lead into this, although it is related, is that Dev basically justified the death of Corey Comperatory. He's, again, I think he's justifying both assassination attempts on Trump by saying, well, he turned up the rhetoric. I mean, why would you say something like that?
Well, if words qualify you to get shot at, then talk away.
Well, yeah. We're now, this is the thing.
It's an awfully accelerationist thing to say, Dev.
What an accelerationist thing to say. And when you say stuff like that, he used Hitler's language, so it's okay. What could you expect for people to take shots at him? Okay. All right, so words are violence. So, Dev, you've gone full lefty, words are violence. So it's okay for me to enact actual violence on you because words are violence. Just put it out there. You're supposed to be a centrist. I'm real sick of this shit.
This is the man we trust to make railroads. Really? Well, he certainly couldn't. Well, always the railway worker, never the train runner.
The Secret Service spokesman said to The Independent, "The Secret Service is aware of the social media post made by Elon Musk, and as a matter of practice, we do not comment on matters involving protective intelligence. We can say, however, that the Secret Service investigates all threats related to our protectees," which is a yes. Okay. I would say. I'm just saying, that sounds like a yes to me. That Elon Musk maybe. Okay, I'll
Trump's
change what I said earlier. Maybe.
Trump's on his second assassination now, and still has a reduced detail, but we can still spare some of
reduced
the Secret
detail because
Service
he's not president.
to chase after Elon Musk's tweets on his own platform.
Secret Service, it can't spare any people to protect the former president who just survived an assassination attempt and now 2 assassination attempts. But we're going to investigate Elon Musk for a tweet. Interesting. This I just wanted to point out is that the left, and there's actually research on this, that, and it's a graph that goes around quite frequently, I think it's even Pew data, that the left fundamentally does not understand the right. The right understands the left, and I think it's largely because of moral foundations theory. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting really congested. I took an allergy pill and everything. Oh well. So the right, because people on the more conservative side of things that hold all 5 moral values highly. The left only values 2, which is perceived justice, or perceived fairness, and harm/care, so caring for others. And I should say perceived careness, because they want to be seen as caring, and they want to be seen, and they want to have their form of fairness. Those are the only morals that they care about. And so, of course, when they don't understand why the right cares about things like authority or purity, or loyalty, which are the other 5 foundations, and then there's liberty, which is like a pure libertarian thing. That's why the left can't understand the right, because they fundamentally do not have the same values as us. They only have 2 values, which is being perceived as being caring and being perceived as being fair, or their form of fairness. Not purity, not authority, not loyalty. Which is why you get segments like this, where Mika Brzezinski cannot understand why people might vote for Donald Trump, because they cannot comprehend anything outside of their very small worldview. Well, supposedly being the progressives, right?
And then there's Jeremy Peters, who's coming after us. Wah, wah.
Oh, God, I can't stand Mika.
Jeremy, entitled Pundits Said Harris Won the Debate. Undecided voters weren't so sure. And you write in part this. In interviews with undecided voters, many of whom the Times has interviewed regularly over the last several months, they acknowledged that Ms. Harris seemed more presidential than Mr. Trump. And they said she laid out a sweep.
The fuck are you smoking? How is she more presidential by what fucking standard?
What do you expect from a panel that looks like a fucking YouTube podcast that reviews snuff films?
What was the chat saying? Louis was right about Louis Laval. What was he right about? Dev?
Everything.
About most things, yes, but I wasn't sure if there was a specific thing he was right about. Oh, before we get back to it, Binary Clips for 5 it says, this just in, Keir Starmer pledges to make the, can I even say Holocaust mandatory?
Holabunga.
Yeah, mandatory for all children, saying it. What do you mean? Wait, sorry.
It's already 90% of the historical curriculum.
Makes it, I think you mean learning about it. Mandatory for all children, saying it would be critical, vital to the curriculum. Yeah. The way it is phrased, Binary Clips, I'm just saying, Keir Starmer pledges to make the Holocaust mandatory for all children.
He's got my vote all of a sudden.
That's a slightly different cut. Well, they
so that explains why he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'd say that is a remarkably Corbynite fucking phrasing.
Oh my God!
Has Keir Starmer taken up arts recently? We should keep an eye on him just in case.
Yeah, true.
How does he feel about painting buildings?
Yeah, good question.
We should start calling Keir Starmer Keir Fuhrer and just run like counter ops.
I mean, I like 2-tier Keir. I like 2-tier Keir. That's a good
in today's economy, we can afford Keir, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, Louis was great.
Keeping vision to fix some of the country's most stubborn problems. But they also said she did not seem much different from Mr. Biden, and they wanted change.
That's a damning sentence.
And most of all, what they wanted to hear and didn't was the fine print. Voters said they were glad she has a tax and economic plan.
Oh, we'll get to that, because we're going to listen. I think we watched last week her tax plan. I've got more on her economic plan tonight. We're going to listen about that she has one. She doesn't, by the way. We'll hear from the coconut's mouth itself.
But they want to know how it will become law when Washington is so polarized. They know she wants to give assistance to first-time home buyers, but doubted that it was realistic. And Jeremy, I ask you, is their answer Donald Trump? Because I guess I see the questions. I think there was only so much that she could do.
Mia Brzezinski?
Mostly plastic.
Everyone here.
Oh.
Like, Jesus Christ. What do you best describe that? Like, okay, so we got... I didn't know how to start. Not with the black guy either. Like,
You've never... Well, okay.
Like, what if Jimmy Urine was Mormon?
Yeah.
And on the left, like...
It looks like if Jimmy Carr was Yankified.
Oh, yeah, it's very Jimmy Carr, actually.
Yeah. So, of course, this is...
Jimmy Carr was somehow slightly gayer.
And a Hasidic Jew.
Even this report that this New York Times report that they're reading, that is framing things in the most positive light towards Harris possible. And they're still going, well, despite that, undecided voters don't, even though they love these things about Kamala, who else are they going to vote for? Well, who do you think? And again, she seems confused. Who are they going to vote for? Duh. They're either not going to vote, or they're going to vote for Trump. That's how it works.
What we're seeing here as a still image is a deeply, deeply repressed gay man and the woman who keeps him in her basement.
Yes, yes.
To lick the black mold off the walls.
Oh, God.
In that debate, in order to be as effective as she was, and I agree. There are a lot more questions. Of course, I would love to ask Kamala Harris
so unconvinced.
about her leadership style and her plans and how she plans to execute.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions because she's not given any answers to anything.
Well, asking about Kamala's leadership style is like asking about Harold Shipman's bedside manner.
What was her answer in the debate was something about
out of the fucking primaries before it even reached her own state in 2020. Then she was shoved into the closet for the last 2 fucking years because she was an absolute embarrassment to the current regime she's living in.
I mean, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, it was something about this in the debate where she was asked something about the economy, and she started going on about child tax credits.
That's because she has a
no, it wasn't about child tax. No, it wasn't child tax credits. No, it was about like free school lunches or something that cost people more money. She just went on about talking about fixing the economy. Yeah, she went on about making it easier for families by giving them more money. How's it going to fix the economy? Money printer go brr.
Centuries of inbreeding has led us to this panel. You're not wrong. Well, and most of that inbreeding is happening in their own living rooms as we speak.
Oof. Jeez.
But are those undecided voters saying, I'm going to kind of lean Trump here because I want change?
Yeah?
I don't get it.
Yes.
Yes, because
yes, if you don't like what you got under the last 4 years of this horrific regime, then you want something to change. Would you like to have more money in your pocket? Remember how you had more money in your pocket 5 years ago? Yeah,
I'd like to wake up with Mr. Whisker still in the house and not on the next door's neighbor's fucking barbecue.
Oh. Well, yeah, we'll get to that next.
No, I don't think that a lot of them are saying they're leaning Trump. Some of them certainly would, but I think the bigger risk.
Look at how smug she is that he just agreed with her. I don't think.
No, that's a smile. It's like through gritted teeth. Like, please,
yeah.
Please.
No, Bill. She's trying to smile,
she burst into that speech about being middle class. Yeah,
all
right.
I'm seeing here is like botulinum is a hell of a drug.
Dang.
Her is that they're just going to stay home, that they're not motivated, inspired enough by her. Because remember, people don't really know her. As we've.
This is insane.
She's retarded.
People don't know. Well, they did hide her. Where was the
plenty of people
czar
know
for
her
4
in the
years?
biblical sense.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
What's the old adage? The only black DNA in Kamala Harris is from Willie Brown.
Oh my God, yeah. Lots of people know her in the biblical sense, but you're right. The average American, that's too big of a task, even for a real champ like Kamala to take that on.
The only reason this is even a conversation is because the average voter can't remember more than 4 years ago because they've been so traumatized by how badly things have been going that they are kept traumatized to keep them docile and forgetful, so they don't remember how good that 4-year stint under Trump was.
No, I always bring this up. Go ahead.
Willie Brown is literally those 2 words are the same reason that she's in the fucking debate. In the first place.
Exactly. Willie and Brown. Exactly. But I bring this up. I believe it was a New York Times or Washington. No, New York. I don't remember which, but you can find it up if you just Google this headline, because the headline is indelible to my hippocampus. As Christine Blasey Ford once said, the title was "We will forget much of the pandemic, and that's a good thing." And it was like a going into neuroscience research that shows exactly what Bill said, is that the trauma, maybe I think it was the New York something, but maybe it was the Atlantic. I don't know. And the gist was that when people were traumatized, and this is true. You see this in PTSD cases. People were traumatized, and I'm talking like subclinical PTSD, but some degree of trauma. Is that people do forget, because it causes memories to not be processed correctly. That's how PTSD works. So yeah, I think that and it's one, keeping people traumatized, and two, keeping people constantly angry so they don't actually pay attention. They're too now at some point though, you boil the frog, and that's why they boil the frog slowly. But I think you can boil it a little bit too thoroughly. Too thoroughly, right? When people can't afford to buy everyday necessities, people start to notice.
Well, the idea, I believe, is that eventually they can't afford these things. So if we do it slowly enough, and by our attrition, they'll just accept everything we do that can give them any leeway whatsoever. Because they'll keep hanging on by a thread, and we'll keep selling them the thread.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to the chat who asked, like, how do Brits pronounce linoleum or we usually use the contraction lino. Because lino is the brand name of linoleum in.
But how do you say linoleum?
Lino.
You wouldn't. What would you?
Linoleum?
If you had to pronounce the full word, what would you say?
Well, how do Americans pronounce aluminium? If they
aluminum.
Which is actually a different name. No, it's not.
I know.
Aluminum and aluminium are different words. They were They were changed
Yes.
regionally because they thought the Yanks couldn't pronounce.
Yes.
Yeah, don't keep me on that.
It's aluminium, and then the Yanks are wrong.
Well, I agree. It's
I
aluminium.
believe the Yank version was actually first, and then the British version was the extended version.
Oh.
I remember that because it was specifically weird.
I just did this earlier.
They say gas instead of petrol because they're fucking weirdos.
Whatever. Because this has been pointed out to me by my father and several other people, which was I've lived here for 5 years. Okay, so at some point in time, there's going to be some change in the way I pronounce things, and some of them I think are correct. So like it's progress and not progress, or prospect and not prospect.
Yes,
because that's the way it's freaking spelled. And I stand by this, actually, is that I think that's the correct pronunciation of those words. Even with my American accent, I think that's the correct pronunciation of those words. For example, it starts with P-R-O, it's pro. You're not a pro golfer. You're not a professional. It's a professional. Prospect, progress. Just my opinion. Sorry. Weird grammar aside.
We're falling into the GIF debate.
Yeah.
Fuck the guy who invented it.
No.
It's GIF. It's not a graphics integration.
You say leisure.
Leisure.
Okay, here's the real question: is the scone
I'm
debate?
trying to think of how I would say it. I think I would say leisure. Yeah. Mm. Anyway, let's
say
not
process or process.
Process.
Okay, there we go.
I just explained why. Hey, Aydin, what's a
one
Coke?
Is English and the other is wrong.
I'm from the South, so a Coke is a soda.
The South is just Britain, but slower.
That's true.
In terms of accent.
Well, we had this conversation just yesterday, Bill, but dinner and supper.
Oh yeah, because at one point lunch was dinner, and now lunch is lunch, and what we think of as dinner now is supper. It was a whole today.
Do you see?
And there's tea.
Hmm.
Yeah, Aydin, what's the herb that goes on pizza?
The herb that goes on pizza?
Yeah.
Oregano.
Not oregano, the other one.
Not oregano? Basil?
Thank you. Because the Yanks usually say basil.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was an accident!
Well done. Well, you're successfully colonizing her verbiage.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
There we go.
No!
You can just see Aydin's dad in the background, fucking red coat.
All right, let's yeah.
she's quoted many voters saying, and many Democratic strategists saying, she's famous as vice president. Of course, she has a very high name. She's largely unknown as a candidate and a politician. I mean, she was elected to the United
She was unknown. Okay. She had 4 years to become
known.
known.
Unknown is because she dropped out of the primary because she got her ass kicked by Tulsi Gabbard in one.
And then she was told.
Swoop.
And then she was told essentially to hide, to get away from the public
because she
eye
kept
because
cackling
she's
in front of foreign dignitaries like a fucking retard.
Because she's insufferable.
DRT is king, $5. The man who pronounces it as Jiff will be smoked when he meets Jod.
Oh, also, Binary Clips, who'd been a member for 7 months, sorry I missed this, says, don't let the commies win, no matter what, don't let them win, no matter what, don't let them win. Also, Dev is cringe and a commie. Yep, true.
That's really good.
Everyone knows Kamala as the woman who put a bunch of black people away for smoking weed.
Not supposed to bring that up.
And also lobbied to keep a man who was provedly innocent on death row and had him executed.
Yep.
And also, she was smoking pot in the 1980s and listened to Tupac about 4 years before his debut album was even released.
Yeah, I think at the time he was busy. He was too busy being in what's his fucking name? Does the Skull Vodka? Dan Aykroyd films.
Oh yeah.
Because he turns up in Nothing But Trouble as like an extra.
Let's get back to this, shall we?
United States Senate in 2018. She's hardly, been on the national.
She's been the vice president for 4 years.
She has had. Let's not forget.
We've got one guy with glasses that looks remarkably like Arch in the background.
Campaign period to introduce herself to voters. That's what the next 8 weeks are all about. And something, Mika, you point out is very correct. You can't do in 2-minute answers in a debate. So it's not going to be.
How come everybody else seems to be able to? Well, he's strong.
Because she's talking.
Also, no wonder she can't fucking extrapolate her whole position in such short time. She's too busy being drunk off her ass.
Right.
And it's never stopped any of us from doing our fucking job.
True.
Another debate, it looks like.
In a way, can someone explain to me how, in fuck's name, this bitch was able to sound more coherent during a live debate than she could during a scripted interview on CNN?
Uppers.
Yeah, upper. That's when they're on those. Must be uppers. It sounds like also. I don't think this has been confirmed, but it sounds like there also is not going to be a third debate.
What about a second one?
Or are we at 2?
Well,
right,
yeah,
we're
this
at
is
2.
only her second one.
2. No, third.
I couldn't stop her drinking long enough.
But when I say third, I mean the third debate in this election cycle. So her second debate, third debate in the cycle. I was gonna say, wait a minute. I started to feel like I was losing my mind. I was feeling a little bit Biden-esque. Lance for 5 says
had a good point. He said only losers want rematches.
True. Lance for 5 says, I don't want to hear about Kamala Toe putting innocent black men in prison. I'm already voting Trump. You can't sweet talk me with stuff like that. Yeah.
I think that's almost good for her campaign because they can continue to introduce her to the voters who still need convincing on their own terms in these large rallies, in these controlled settings.
Does that mean?
I think she's going to eventually.
In other words, it's better that people know less because she's pretty much fucking unelectable, and we all know it.
It's better that people
You
know
would be
less.
better off having everyone that's actually on the public face of the DNC struck by fucking lightning and then try elect Jim, the guy who brings the coffee in on Tuesdays.
Well, again, like no one knows what she stands for. She's flip-flopped on major issues like fracking, and they don't even know how to deal with that. Constantly. So she has no consistent views. Can hardly get an answer out without just cackling. And so what has been her campaign largely reliant on? Memes, really bad ones. Coconut. Brat. Nothing substantial at all. Now, I would say the people...
and I'm brown.
Well, that's what happens when your main voting base has to be contacted for their vote via a fucking Ouija board.
Yeah. I mean, at least, look, people made a lot of memes for Trump, and they are now. We'll get into the cat and dog memes because they're great. Or at least a little bit of them. I have one example that I want to show. But,
you do realize if the internet had a spirit...
People made those for Trump. Her campaign is making these horrible memes for her.
Yes,
it's
but
different.
You do realize when the whole cat thing with the Haitians came out, all of the internet, if it was an avatar, literally just went, we were literally made for just this moment.
Yes, is to make
It's just the scores of just fucking cat memes just were just released within hours.
Yeah, Jay brings up like innocent black men with long lives. Yeah, but somehow in California, Kamala Harris managed to find black people who were up on charges that they were innocent of. Here's how difficult that must be.
More interviews. She's only done the one so far, and but there's 8 weeks, and that's an awful lot of time.
No, it's really not.
To convince people.
Well, yeah, because we keep trying to drive like car bombs into Trump's offices and try and take him out. This 8 weeks is a long time when you're behind a scope.
8 weeks is not a long time, and your argument is people don't know anything about her. You got 8 weeks to try and fix that after 4 years?
Oh no, that's really checking with the experts on the character of Kamala Harris. Where's that child in a Wayfarer cabinet? Let's ask them.
Oof. So here's speaking of Kamala's economic plan. Here we go. Shall we listen to it? It's brilliant economic plan.
Bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people. Yeah. What are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
What does this have to do with anything?
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
Give me one or two specifics.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people. Construction workers and
okay.
Yeah.
I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience.
God, exactly right, Bornsai. I was born a poor black child. Excellent jerk reference. Yeah.
But a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
What? What are you going to do with the economy? It's been 40 seconds.
So what you're saying is hide all Mexicans.
One or two specifics of what you were going to do. Yeah, both of your parents are doctors. Yes, right. You grew up very middle class. It just shows what her definition of middle class is, I suppose.
Her father was a Marxist economist.
Yeah.
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
One or two examples. What are you going to do for the economy?
Beautiful character.
Specific things to bring down prices. The economy is in shambles. The cost of living, the cost of goods is up, in some instances, like 200, 300%, depending on the item. Right? What are you going to do about that? Let me tell you about my childhood and how we grew up middle class.
We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions.
This is someone who thinks they're Spike Lee when they're really Spike Milligan.
Oh my god. There's very few people who are going to get that reference, Bill.
The economy.
Well, like me and you and about two.
Well, I hope our chat watches better films than the shit Spike Lee churns out.
So, when I talk about building an opportunity economy,
explain it.
Is
yes.
very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the Americans.
Specific.
And creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
How? A minute and a half.
Not saying anything.
Didn't say a single thing. Give me one or two specifics. Yeah, she's got great plans for the economy. Can't even come up with one.
Let's face it, fiscal planning from Kamala Harris. She thinks fiscal's an Olivia Newton-John song.
Well, knowing her sex position.
Probably. Oh, right. Yes, of course it is.
Yeah. Followed by show me the money
Doesn't
shot.
she unironically have, like, knee pads that are branded?
Oh, my God. I'm sure someone has made them. But, yeah, what a giveaway. Here's Tim Waltz. I know this
Ian Marchand follows you.
Don't... A lot of people follow me, Bill.
And Aydin, you have to explain this.
You're in danger.
Well, I follow him too because he reposts things.
Just to check what he's stealing shit from us.
Okay.
I mean, he is Asian, by the way.
Look, now this is obviously a slip of the tongue. However, if Trump did something like this, it would be all over the national news. This is just a little funny thing, and I said, oh, what a giveaway.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prosecutor.
What?
What did he just say?
What was that?
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prosecutor.
as a young.
Was
what?
he supposed to say prosecutor?
Yes. However, I think he said.
Well, you know where she got to start. You know what some people are like when they get into power, they start pinking folk out.
I think he didn't say prosecutor. I think he said.
Story as a young prostituter.
I think he said prostituter.
Kamala Harris.
And he had a little break there, like uh-oh.
For the first time.
Okay.
Working for the first time. I've not.
She was working for
yet.
She's a working girl, right? So Taylor Swift, of course, came out and endorsed Kamala Harris or
Who?
Whatever. Taylor Swift.
Who's that?
Taylor Swiftler.
Tay Sway. She is a pop star who's very women lover for young women in particular.
Why?
Taylor Swift released an endorsement in which she signed off on her support for Democrat nominee as a childless cat lady for Harris Waltz. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I am voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is steady-handed. Well, when she's got a drink in her, because you know what those alcohol shakes is. Look, speaking as
let's ask Willie Brown his opinion
myself.
on that. He's the expert.
He would know. Gifted leader, certainly gifted, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. Wow. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate Tim Walz, who's been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF. No one is against IVF. I mean, maybe a couple of weirdos, but they always, when they say IVF, let's be clear what they mean. It's this part. It's abortion. Nobody is against IVF. Okay? IVF is in vitro fertilization. I've done my research, Doubt. I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, but this is clearly telling your young audience, all the females listening to you, that what they need to do. I also want to say, especially, no, I hate this. I don't like it. I really don't like that word. To first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. Do you? Do you have to be registered to vote in the United States anymore?
Otherwise.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you have to be registered. Democrats will register and vote for you even after you're dead. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I'll link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. Posted with a cat picture.
For shit like this?
No.
Frequently?
No. Just telling people that here's where you can sign up to vote, etc. IVF is not I'm very fat. A lot of people have a hard time conceiving. So this is meaningless blather, right? Yeah, the problem is that... Okay, so... As CNN senior data reporter Henry Enton pointed out in a Thursday segment, the Democrats had better hope it's a little more than meaningless blather. First off, it's probably helpful to do a bit to remind ourselves some of exactly why Joe Biden was still in the race, despite his obviously declining health, mentally and physically, which is why he eventually was persuaded to drop out. Biden and his people essentially believed that the president was the only person who could hold together the coalition that propelled the Democrats to victory in 2020, the older working class Rust Belt Unionites, more progressive young voters, and a broad coalition of ethnic, racial, and religious minorities. What became increasingly clear was that the coalition was falling apart, particularly among minorities, but especially among young voters. Could someone take up for me for a minute?
What became increasingly
right
clear
when to leave.
is that the coalition was falling apart. Partially among young minorities, but especially among young voters. The idea was that by trading out Biden for Kamala Harris, whose appeal is specifically tailored to young leftists, who are fucking retards, they'd be at least sew up that segment of the vote while addressing weaknesses among black and Latino voters with a minority candidate. They could convince the hard hats later. Does that mean Jews? Seriously,
No. Hard hats is in laborers. People who do real jobs. People who have real jobs.
Up my own ass, I am. However, that's not quite how it worked out, as Aydin, or Enton, or the fucking hell it's spelled out, on air when talking about why Swift's endorsement looms so large, because it's the only fucking celebrity that we have that isn't a complete dyke that fucking endorses.
Yeah, here's the actual clip. Here it is.
And that is the underperformance that both Joe Biden and now even Kamala Harris has among young voters. All right, so this is the Democrat versus Trump margin among voters age 18 to 29 or under the age of 30. You go back 4 years ago at this point. Look, Joe Biden had a 28-point advantage. A 28-point advantage over Donald Trump. Now, you look when Joe Biden dropped out of the race, he was up by just 7 points. Now, Kamala Harris has improved on Joe Biden's standing, but look at this. She's only up by 15 points. That is significantly less than Joe Biden was up at this point among the youngest voters in our electorate. It's only about half the margin that Joe Biden was pulling in. So Kamala Harris will absolutely welcome in the support of Taylor Swift if she can move young voters at all, because the bottom line is Kamala Harris is, in fact, not doing as well among young voters as you might expect a Democrat to necessarily be doing based upon history.
And what we heard from Taylor Swift last night was a call to register to vote, get involved. Why? How much of voter registration?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Do you realize
she didn't tell you who to vote for. She just said, here's who I'm voting for, your idol. Now here's how you go vote. Come on. Now, is it legal? Yeah, sure. She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything illegal. But like, I love how they have to put this little caveat in. Well, she didn't tell them who to vote for.
Why the hell are we listening to a women?
Good question. Let's move on. Anyway, that was a tasteway thing. My point is that even CNN are kind of like, oh, we need Taylor Swift.
There's no plastic there, fucking music.
The only way we can win if we get Taylor Swift endorsement, because we need young people to care about Kamala Harris, who, remember, as we just heard, nobody knows anything about. Which one is this? Oh, CNN also is having some internal conflict. This was actually really interesting.
This one's funny.
This is really interesting.
Understand that's one. But
And that's where the winning and losing matters.
I'm really channeling Tom Hanks here, his character in A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball.
Agreed. Yeah, I just said she had a strong performance.
That was really cringe. That was
cringe. A lot of stuff she says here is cringe, but she also does have some good points.
Did not adapt. He still does think in his mind that he is running against President Biden. The vice president made it very clear you're not running against Joe Biden, but he did not adapt. He didn't change. He didn't have any vision. It was all, what is all wrong with America? He could have changed. He could have pivoted, but he didn't take the opportunity. He didn't take the opportunity to pivot. I will say this. When I rewatched it, I will give you guys that some of the questions that they asked and came back at the president with was harsher. More than one thing can be true at the same time, but there is a however.
Yeah. So,
he did not.
Thank you for your honesty.
I'm curious. Okay. What did you think was harsher? I'm just honestly curious.
Well, the fact about her ethnicity question, I think that is why you keep bringing that up, pressing him on that Project 2025. Look, the man said...
I mean, she's right. Why are you pressing him on this stupid shit?
He had nothing to do with it. We can debate whether he had something to do with it or not. They did not. On the fracking question, to the vice president, and this is me as a liberal.
This is on CNN from a black liberal woman who wants Kamala Harris to be president. It's like, you guys are messing this up. You're not doing this correctly.
She, in 2019... when she was running, she said, I'm done with, fracking, we're going to do away with it.
She's not a good candidate.
We're going to do away with it. They had her dead to right on that. What you can say as a candidate that I'm not in 2019, I'm not in 2020, and you know what? I changed my mind.
Well, I guess the reality of it is that she reversed herself in 2020.
Reversed herself?
No, she didn't, Abby. That's not accurate.
Oh, by the way, this dude on the left here, he fucking killed them. When when it was the Democratic convention, that weekend thing, he absolutely smoked the shit out of them, and it was fantastic. I think hold on a second, let's play it more because I think I have him here. I think I have his name here.
It's a weak argument. No, stop. It's all a lie. All I'm saying is that more than one thing can be true at the same time. I'm with Nina. President Donald J. Trump lost.
No, we didn't.
The device and all that his followers are saying that did not happen. He lost. He was not prepared. He thought he was going to bulldoze his way in. He wouldn't even look at the vice president. He lost. But at the same time, I did analyze what the moderators were doing, and they did not treat him exactly.
That's very interesting.
They have never treated him fairly, but she is right. I mean, and anyone who's not completely insane can say that. So if they are worried about these undecided voters, well, then there you go. People who are quote-unquote undecided, which is not many people, really in the more recent data, it's gone down and down year by year. The country is more and more polarized.
But also the plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's and you can see that they have to hit back and say, no, that's not true. And she's right. Drop this Project 2025 shit. It's fear mongering that makes no sense. That Trump didn't come up with. That Trump has not endorsed. That was just basically applied to him and say, this is our game plan. Now, I think a lot of things on Project 2025 are pretty damn based, but it's not his platform. It never was. Lance has been a member for 16 months. Says, during his golf game, Trump was reported to have said, waga kokoro to kodo nitten, nukumori nashi, subete ga seigai da. Which is, of course, a JoJo's reference. Whoa! How dare you? Is a JoJo's reference.
I'm just busting your chops, by the way.
Huh?
I'm just busting your chops, by the way. Oh, by the way, here he is.
It is, the basic translation is that,
that's him. Scott Jennings is
I go for
name.
a piss and come back to having to switch the fucking, like, subtitles on.
Fantastic. No. I couldn't get it in
I
my
also
first
use
go.
bad slurs.
I'm not used to I sometimes get confused when it's written with the line over at the top, and I know that's to make it work better. But the basic translation is that my mind is clearer now, and also the second is this is justice. Like it's my mind is my heart, my mind are clear, and this is justice. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap before pulling out an American flag and disappearing. Yeah, sugoi. Nice JoJo's reference. I probably didn't do a great job on trying to transliterate that on the fly, or make it make sense. Actually, I should look up the
Filthy
exact
accent, reasonable price.
Yeah, exactly. DRT is King for 5 says the 18 to 25 divide is a bit of gender dichotomy. The young men support Trump by about 15 to 20 points, and 18 to 25 women support Harris by about 38 points. Well, this is why women shouldn't vote.
Also why women are retarded.
Based. All right. I know.
There's a link in the box there, by the way.
All right. So this happened.
Oh, by the way, that guy.
Who?
The last link I sent you on Twitter.
Oh, this CNN commentator. Let me see this.
Yes.
What? Fuck you. Oh, I see. All the H. But there we go.
Led by every Democrat working for or around her campaign every day.
This is about this guy. I always forget what.
Elie Mystal. I call him Q-Tip. I actually got him to reply to me once.
Don King wants his fucking fit back. What the fuck is this?
That guy is one of the most racist fucking people.
Oh, he's
on
so
TV.
overtly racist.
Oh
yes.
my god, I'm amazed how people don't just want to kick his ass.
Yeah, because he's like John Savadon in blackface. He's like a character Peter Griffin would dress up as.
Oh yes! Oh my god! He's like Peter Griffin in blackface wearing a wig.
Oh god!
Like a cross between Peter Griffin, Gary Spivey, and Uncle Ruckus.
Yes, because it's Gary Spivey's wig or hair.
Like with specific like John Savadon's proportion.
I can guarantee you, if this dude actually had a conversation with Anthony, the guy who does Uncle Ruckus's voiceover, I guarantee you he would absolutely make him fucking fume with rage. Because he can actually play Uncle Ruckus in real life. Because he's done it on The Breakfast Club, and it's one of the funniest things. Yeah.
So was him. What was it?
Working every other one. The bloodbath thing is stated every single day.
Okay, let me
But my point is,
This is back when they run the bloodbath thing. The bloodbath. Now,
this was recent.
Again.
This was yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, earlier today.
Oh, they're still bringing up this bloodbath. All right, I guess they can never let it go, right? The bloodbath.
Yeah, he was referring to the automobile industry closing down.
Yes, he was talking about the automobile industry. It has nothing to do with violence. These are the people who went out and have said to riot, to burn things down, fight. You know, democracy's in danger.
It doesn't matter to these people. Trying to argue the point they are blatantly lying is pointless.
Yes.
These
Well,
people...
he's going to try and argue with them to their face. Yeah. But you're right. Yeah. I mean, that's what we've been saying. Yeah.
Bloodbath, eliminate Constitution.
Hold on.
What do you think
just
that
to clear this up, you're referring to Trump's use of the word bloodbath when he was talking.
And what was he talking about?
I'm going to explain it to people because I think there's confusion.
Yeah, explain
it. Use of the word bloodbath when he was talking about, vehicle manufacturing jobs in the United States. Vice President Harris improperly and unfairly mischaracterized that as him saying there would be a bloodbath if he were elected. However, she did not say that if Trump were elected, there would be a bloodbath. She did not say that.
Oh my God, splitting hairs.
I know you have interviewed and had people out here and have watched the same coverage I have. The bloodbath garbage is it is a pillar of the Democratic campaign against Trump, as is dictator, as is eliminate the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah, they're splitting hairs.
How the
You know what
hell
you
is
meant.
this still
You know
employed
what
by
you want-
CNN? It's just
I don't know.
bizarre to me.
You know what you want people to take away from that? Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, because he's sane. How the hell are you sane and Republican?
Something
on
weird's
CNN?
going
It's
on there.
unemployed, Yeah. This
Binary
is the only
clips
reason why
for-
people watch the network, by the way.
Yeah. Binary Clips for 5 says, my birthday came around some days ago. Hey, happy birthday. And I
Whoa.
finally got my present, which is a pair of
birthday.
Bibles printed in the 1840s. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh, yeah, indeed. Happy birthday, man. I'd love it. Yeah, I love antique books like that. And,
Those Bibles are big enough to beat people to death with.
yeah.
By
I'm
design.
sure they are. Thank you. So this happened.
Oh,
White
this
House
is pretty
explains
funny.
why Biden worried Trump hat 2024 as new details come to light. So we'll watch the clip and then we'll read what the White House had to say about it. There it is.
Trump hat, I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it. You want to autograph it? Oh, sure, I'll autograph it. Huh? Yeah. You remember your name? I don't remember my name. I'm slow.
I mean,
He looks actually
Oh.
kind of endearing, actually. It's quite weird.
I mean, like, well, I guess he's out of the race now, but this guy dropped out last month. And he was the leader of the free world, well, and still is now, by the way.
He's still the president. He still has the
He's
codes.
still the president. He's got all the codes. So it's not like I know he's doing this on the campaign trail or whatever, but what? You're still the damn president. You've got the nuclear codes. You're in charge of the country for another. What is it? It's 2 months. 2 months. So slow. I don't know how to write my name. I don't know if you think this is endearing, Joe, but it doesn't get more endearing. Can you sign my Trump hat?
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy. And you're an old person. I know you would know about that.
Oh, it's just the presidential hat. It's just not a Trump hat. He's got his Trump hat on.
All right. I'm a young timer.
Just the presidential seal.
It reminds me of the guys I grew up with. There was always one in the neighborhood.
What do you mean by that? He reminds me of guys I grew up with. There's
He means
always one in the
cheeky.
neighborhood. Does he mean cheeky or does he mean?
I think he means cheeky.
I think Joe Biden looks down on people like this.
No, I actually don't think that.
All right.
Again, okay, I had this conversation with Spoon earlier in the week. Like, there's so many layers of pageantry to try and
Mhm.
cut through that it's completely pointless. I could try and argue the interpretation of the interpretive dance troupe prancing
Mhm.
around in their fucking lycra, or I could tell them all to fuck off with my lawn.
I
I'm
think
gonna
he's
go
more
with
likely to do that.
Yeah.
And this
I need that hat. Want my autograph? Hell no. You know my name. Come on. I ain't going that far. Yeah. There you go.
Oh my God.
That is legitimately the first time that
It's-
Smiley's looked genuine in 4 fucking years.
Because he's out of his gourd.
Nah, I think he's
Do you
fully
think
aware
he-
of what he just did. He just took it and was like, I'm not going that far. He said that instantly.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, do you know he kept the hat?
Oh,
Yeah,
did he?
He's been carrying it around since. He took it onto Air Force One.
Interesting.
And it's always been visible whenever he's had it.
Hmm.
He's never put it down.
Dogs and cats. Hey, they're good.
There was
They're good.
there's a clip on BBC that they played on Fox
Yeah.
where the daughter of the guy there
Mhm.
who signed his hat, he said that Biden kept the hat.
Yeah.
The Trump campaign gave the guy the hat that Biden took. He gave a replacement hat. So Biden has been walking around with that Trump fucking hat ever since then. Why?
I don't think
know.
the guy intended to give him the hat.
I don't know where
permanently. Or
Yeah, I don't think he expected it to just keep it on his person. I think he was expecting to get it back after a short exchange. However,
Yeah.
I think it was probably well worth the price of admission to see this cause an absolute international fuckfest.
So this guy.
But you know what is the best thing about it though is that this completely. In the wake of the debate, everyone just think, oh my goodness, Kamala Harris is going to win, yada yada. And Biden just went, no, fuck you, I'm going to wear this hat, I'm going to steal all of your attention.
Well, here's what they're saying. This guy is the deputy White House press secretary. And he said at the Shanksville fire station, POTUS spoke about the country's bipartisan unity after 9/11 and said we need to get back to that. As a gesture, he gave a hat to a Trump supporter, who then said, in the same spirit, POTUS should put on his Trump cap, and apparently stole it. Oh, he briefly wore it. Did he steal it, though?
Also, I don't believe that for a single fucking second.
No.
I remember Kareem, just whatever the hell she's the first female character, whatever. She
Kareem
said,
Jean-Pierre.
this is a symbol of unity. I'm like, you get fucked, you lying cunting bitch. You fucking retards have been screaming that he is the fucking reincarnation of the Führer for the last, 8 years? And now he puts on a Trump hat. Like, oh no, he's a symbol of unity with the same guy that you said is going to tear the country apart. That doesn't make any sense.
Again, here's Joe less than 3 months ago on Zitter. I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes debating a guy with the morals of an alley cat. Oh, you want to, you know.
And then after you stopped talking to your son, you went on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Democracy and freedom are on the ballot this November. This one again from 3 months ago.
Republicans are a threat to the nation. Like,
yeah. Which you've been saying for years, but
Democracy's
now
never been
what's
on the
this?
ballot. It's been on a chopping block.
Yeah.
You can only hope.
Oh God, I wish. I'm with Michael Malice. I wish Trump was a threat to democracy.
I think I don't really know what
He's
this
using
is.
Hitler's language. He's not nearly that well spoken.
What do you think? What do you guys think this is? Is he just out? Is he just?
I think
out
it's
to lunch,
irrelevant.
or-
I think this is all a bunch of tism.
Yeah, I think so
he's-
too.
I think he's just trolling it for the funnies.
Maybe.
He realizes
So-
he's basically out of office. He's just. It maybe at best it's a little nudge to the higher ups.
You know what? You know what was funny?
You're gonna buy me off, or I'm gonna cause trouble.
What was funny is that in this debate, 24 hours before he said this, Trump said in the debate there was a moment when he went like, "I'll tell you a secret. He hates her.
Oh yeah.
He hates her." And then the next
Yeah.
day he does that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, the timing is just funny as fuck.
Mm-hmm. So, on to the eating cats and dogs.
Do you believe it?
I've seen it.
There's some evidence of it.
Dev said it isn't true, so that means it is true.
Right. Okay, so, yeah, they're eating dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating pets of people that live there. Harris called Trump extreme, laughed at his comments. This is about specifically Springfield, Ohio. So,
Why
of
would
course, all
people
the-
be surprised by this when Haitians are eating each other back in Haiti?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So here's the thing. There is
Cannibals kind of
another.
have some
What do we know about a
questionable
separate
diets.
case in the same state of Canton, Ohio? Charged a 27-year-old woman with animal cruelty after she did torture, kill, and eat a cat in a residential area in front of people, according to a police report. She's not Haitian. She was born in Ohio. Okay, so this is what they're saying. Oh no, well, maybe some people are eating cats and dogs in Ohio, but or one person did. Okay.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
I have
It wasn't a
seen,
Haitian, but the cat is still gone.
I have seen footage of the migrants eating.
Here's the
local
thing.
pets.
Here's the thing. This is a well-known phenomenon. At least if it's not cats and dogs, it's certainly animals in the streets, which the UK has experienced extensively, given its massive migrant crisis. So we're gonna get to this, but yeah, a lot of the people who come from these third world countries, they don't get that you're not supposed to just eat the wildlife, which might include a stray dog or cat. But we'll get into it again. So of course, Kamala Harris talked about it.
And I want to move to Springfield, Ohio, and what's happening there. We've seen school closures, parents worried about their kids leaving the home because of racist conspiracy theories that I won't repeat.
So right, of course, what's happened is that they're claiming now that
fuck is this dude's just everything?
looks like Jordan Peele. It looks like a character being played by Jordan Peele, like in a sketch.
Look at Lionel Richie's hair.
But so the claim since the debate is that Haitian immigrants in Ohio, of which there are 20,000 for some reason, brought in under the Biden administration, and the border czar Kamala Harris that they are being attacked in the streets. They had to leave their schools because of Trump saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're out there eating, pets. And so Trump, again, he's sowing hatred and division, and now everyone has to flee these illegal immigrants. Okay. Go back. Then go back to Haiti. Yeah, tree surgeon, Jordan Peele.
Here,
it looks like him to me too.
Repeated by leaders on the Republican side, President Trump, former President Trump, Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance. From your perspective, is this just a case of irredeemable racism that can't be mitigated by any rational action, or is this a situation in which a federal response could help this community heal? There's a question of resources and.
I'll let you finish and then I'll speak. No,
has anyone been hurt?
I have watched this interview. It is painful how unbelievably fucking dull and empty she is.
I don't think I've heard reports of we feel afraid. That's what all I've heard, right? Now I could be wrong, but as of right now, all I've heard about the response to this is that the illegal migrants in Springfield and other parts of Ohio from Haiti and other people who are brown immigrants are scared.
Oh yeah, they had to live around other migrants.
or they're afraid of violence, but as far as I know, there's been no actual violence. So until there's violence, and if there is, then go ahead. I mean, they'll scream bloody murder about that, and I, of course, disavow.
I don't do it.
Okay, but we're being afraid. Sorry, that's what really?
Yeah, you wouldn't be afraid. You know what they aren't that fussed about is when the Clinton Foundation went over to Haiti during after the earthquake and pumped cholera-infested sewage into the water supply.
But here's the thing: you motherfuckers made the entirety of many millions and millions, hundreds of millions of Americans scared shitless for years over a flu. So if making people scared is a crime, is a terrible thing to do, maybe you shouldn't have freaked people out so much about COVID. To the point where, again, I read a study that showed that children who were born during lockdowns have an up to 20-point IQ deficit. Now that's, again, neonatal IQ deficit, IQ testing, which isn't exactly, it's very, there's a lot of elasticity. There's a lot of elasticity in young people. They can recover from things. Very young people. The younger, the more elastic. That being said, it's all right for you to fearmonger about Trump, make people afraid that he's using Hitler's language, that he's going to be an orange dictator, which you did before and didn't happen. You keep doing it. But Trump says something about dogs and cats, and these people feel afraid, and that's a crime? That's irredeemable? He said, I think he said the word irredeemable, didn't he? Oh.
It's a crying shame. I mean, my heart breaks for this community.
For what?
There were children, elementary school children, who it was.
Oh, she's on something.
School photo day.
Oh, she's drunk.
You remember what that's like?
Like a slow.
This is like legit end of the night. Pisshead outside the curry house. Drunk.
Look.
Who dressed up in their best, got all ready, knew what they were going to wear the night before.
The fucking hell are you talking about?
This is just
evacuated.
Okay,
they had to be evacuated. Did they have to be evacuated? Or did they go home? I mean, did they have to be evacuated? She said these kids should have. Let me go find this. Okay, she's saying that it was a school photo day, and the kids were all dressed up in their Sunday best to have their photos taken, and they had to be evacuated. So Springfield. It's in Springfield, Ohio.
There's a state that
evacuation.
Really just can't catch a break.
Does say 33 bomb threats. Wonder who sent those, though. Evacuated due to threat. Who sent them? Who sent them? Look, these people call in false. I just don't trust this shit. I don't trust bomb threats and that kind of stuff at all.
Not anymore, no.
No.
I mean, how many times have we had Trump on the show?
Right.
Come to Carlisle's tomorrow.
Don't go to Caroline's tomorrow. What's more likely? That leftoids would call in a bunch of fake bomb threats over Trump talking about Haitians eating to random elementary schools, not like attacking Haitians in the street. No, remember like back during COVID when black people were attacking random Asian people in the street? Remember that? Over the fear that the Democrats... Remember that? Remember when you made the entirety of America terrified of COVID? And so black people went out and started beating up Chinese people? Remember that? Where is the instance?
They've never recovered.
Bomb threats have been made. That's horrible. However, I don't believe it. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But right now, there's no evidence that anyone has. And the people who made these bomb threats should be arrested. I don't think you're going to like who it is. If you catch him. And I don't think you will. Who would be more incentivized to do this? Trump supporters? Or leftists who want to make a big deal out of this stupid dog and cats thing? Because guess what? You know who loves cats? You know who really loves cats? In terms of the American demography. What is...
Single old women.
Single white women. Oh, the core voting base of the Democrat Party. This is why I think they focus so much on this cat thing. I'm serious. Is because if white women think that, again, the core Democrat... I mean, I love cats, but if white women think that these immigrants that are being imported by the Dems are eating cats, I don't think they're going to support that regime. At least that's their fear. Don't worry, this woman will still vote for you forever because they want to abort babies, all right? Don't worry. But they might be a little bit dissuaded, a little bit less supportive, if they think that the immigrants you're importing into their neighborhoods are going to eat their cats. And trust me, they've got a lot of them, but still.
Children. A whole community put in fear. And I'll say a couple things about it. One, I learned a long time ago in my career, having a background as a prosecutor.
Can you get this bitch some Pervitin?
When you have that kind of microphone in front of you, you really ought to understand.
This is the power of Perk 40.
How much your words have meaning. I learned at a very young stage in my career.
Why do you always go back? I was a poor black child. Very young stage, your words have meaning, like, Trump's a threat to democracy. Like how you support fracking, then don't support fracking, then support fracking, you flip-flop on that shit. Words do have meaning. Saying this thing about the dogs and the cats stuff. She's just, your words mean nothing. Yes, you're a politician. Your words mean less than nothing. Right, Spoon?
The meaning of
Unfortunately, I can't speed this up. It's
whether somebody was free or in
into the
prison.
Website.
As Attorney General, I was of California.
So you were accused.
The largest economy in the world. I was acutely aware that my words could move markets.
What?
When you are...
This is legitimately the ramblings of an abject drunkard.
Because she's drunk. I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm trying to even pause that much.
I've had more cohesive sentences out of people who were hanging around the outside of the place that only sells to drunk people.
Yeah, it was just like that other thing. She's saying nothing. This is just.
By the way, the whole thing was like this.
Yeah. Did you watch this is 6 minutes.
I know. I watched like the 40 minutes of the whole interview.
Oh, jeez.
My
condolences.
I watched it with Tommy Sotomayor, so that helped.
Oh, okay, that would help. Oh, did Tommy go hard? I imagine.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Bestowed with a microphone that is that big. There is a profound.
I think we've all seen it.
You know how to put something big, in your face. We know. Big and black in your face. We know.
Comes with that. That is an extension of what should not be lost in this moment. This concept of the public.
Again, trust me, guys. I wish I could speed it up, but there's no. I looked at it earlier. There's no speed.
Please just
go through
plug on this. I can't watch anymore. We're burning through time.
To then
Okay, I'll just give you the whatever. She just said he's right. Here's the TLDR of what she actually said in the entirety of it. Is God, would you get an idea? Is never been a Secret Service. There are far too many people in our country right now not feeling safe. Specifically in reference to Springfield, the LGBTQ community in Florida, immigrants and women.
That's just everyone that is
Trump's okay.
Fuck off.
Political violence, but she it might not be in this article then. It's a crying shame. Yeah, she said, but basically she just called him a racist. If you go through the whole thing, I mean that's basically the TLDR of what she went through. I know it's impossible. She just accused him basically of being a racist for saying this. Now, so did what Trump very frequently, and always has been this way, is prone to hyperbole, actual hyperbole, and to saying things, taking the piss, but also to kind of simplifying things down, right? The reason they're so upset about this is because Trump said dogs and cats. He didn't say they're eating wild animals, okay? Which they are.
They are.
Clark County Communication.
So this is from the okay. Report confirms Haitian goose hunting in Ohio.
Yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct? Yes, it is. Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today. And I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers.
I do wonder how he knows they were Haitian.
9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on.
And this is surely where Trump got this from, right? Is that it was specifically Haitian people. But I imagine that because there's 20,000 immigrants, they all probably hang out, and people probably know in their communities that these are the Haitians that they've imported, right?
There was about 4 of them. I
do find that a little suspect, though, just saying.
2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late. What direction did they go? They went up towards.
What's wrong with hunting geese? These are like city geese.
And more importantly, they're out of season.
Right, there's all kinds of rules and regulations about it.
Hunting is so strictly controlled in America.
Yes. These animals are oftentimes tagged because they're basically like they're taken care of oftentimes by the cities or the local municipality or whatever it is. These are not probably terribly wild animals, and even if they are, that's really fucking weird. They're not hunting in the wild; they're in a park. I'm okay if you want to say all right. Okay, at least it's a goose. People do. I enjoy goose. I enjoy a goose meat, but I even like foie gras, which people have a lot of ethical issues with. But you're just going into the park. You're going into the city park and killing geese. That's a little different.
If I walk
from
into the local
hunting
park
wild geese
and start stomping on the local squirrels and trussing them up like a deer.
or killing. Look, okay, so squab is a delicacy, but if you saw someone killing pigeons in the park and running around with their dead bodies, I think it's a little different. It's a little different, right? Sargon made the solid point of them eating the park decorations. Yeah, essentially, a meal, a succulent Chinese meal, exactly. It's a succulent Haitian meal. Right.
Towards the middle of towards downtown. Okay, and what path are you on? Right now, hold on just a second. I'm coming to the intersection of. Give me a second here. It says Water and Warder Street. Water and Warder. Is that the area you saw them? Yes. It was about 2 minutes back behind me. I was trying to get my phone out and trying to make it to this orientation on time. I'm time crunching here. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported. So how many geese did they have? They each had 1.
Yeah, you have to have a hunting license to do this if you want to go kill geese. Look, I still have my Lolbert side to me, so I don't really like licenses. But you do have to have a license to kill geese. And again, these are not wild geese. These are essentially.
And furthermore, I think that hunting rights should I'm of the opinion that hunting rights, whether it be uncontrolled or otherwise, should be the sole ownership of the locals and not a bunch of random assholes who got dumped there.
Yeah.
Newer model.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is. It's hot out here today.
I'm sorry, what's your last name again?
Child.
They bleeped his name out.
Number is that.
It's strange that his name was a racial slur, but some people aren't very nice to each
Well, a
other.
lot of racial slurs, apparently.
Okay.
Wow.
We will put this out to our cars and see if we can't find him. Thank you so much for calling.
So, okay, so that is a confirmed police call that some guy's driving around in Springfield, Ohio, or in the vicinity, I believe, and sees people just out in the park, walking around with dead geese and killing them.
Well, these are the same people. People then complain, "Oh, why are the Haitian migrants getting diseases much more than everyone else around them?"
And culture is.
Oh, sorry. This is the ABC News falsely claimed that the Springfield city manager refuted Trump's debate statement. They lied. He admits that there were complaints in the March of Haitians eating pets. There are call reports that corroborate the complaints. We heard the geese one, but this guy's saying there are others.
What they're used to. And one of the things that I heard that bothered me very much, I've actually had quite a few people contact me here lately, is some pretty horrid things occurring to domesticated animal in the neighborhood. We've had some stuff in the
domesticated animal, so not a goose, well, maybe, but you can have domesticated geese, obviously. But I think he's hesitant to say what kind of animal it was.
That again, they're being taken advantage of for reasons other than, and if you shake your head, Brian.
No. I asked me if there was proof. I just don't have proof of it. We've heard the same thing.
People that have confided in me have asked me for anonymity. I can't give their names up.
I mean, we haven't seen the proof that you're telling me, and I've heard about it too.
Yeah, laws and.
So, he's saying he's heard the calls. The people are asking to be anonymous, so they can't give it out. Keyshawn, tea time, you're right. The pets thing is a red herring. They're doing all kinds of other bullshit. Absolutely. The pets thing, I do think probably the reason why they're freaking out about it is because, again, who does this freak out? Middle-aged white women. They do not want to think about migrants eating their cats. However, the memes, and there's tons of them, so I'm not going to go over them because there's been countless AI-generated memes of Trump, and they got all mad. A bunch of the leftoids got angry about the memes too on Twitter. Trump wading through water with a kitten in one hand and a dog in the other, or whatever, or a duck in the other, trying to save them. They were AI generated. However, this is not AI generated. This is from Seamus, Freedom Tunes. People also made. It's not his song, I don't think, is it? Maybe it is, but this slaps. This goes hard, and I'm sure Seamus won't mind us sharing it. This song has been stuck in my head, so enjoy getting stuck in yours. And of course, shout out always to Freedom Tunes.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Go.
Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's a TikTok trend now. Yeah.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It goes hard.
No credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused.
Uh-oh, it looks like we do have some.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's that dog shaking, that video he's drawn over,
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
The Springfield, Ohio Police Department has debunked this very bizarre and very hateful.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating
so good.
We rate this on CBS confirmed team. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
I get the idea. Anyway, very fun. Good on you, Seamus. Alright. I have a couple little culture war shits to do, and then we have our ending thing, which will be very fun, which is, I talked about this before, but somebody who used to be very funny on the internet, iDubbbz, who has become a complete and utter cuckold because he married a leftoid woman who basically cut his dick and balls off and also made him pay for her to get fake tits and then cut her own fake tits off after they got married. That's weird. Turned this man who was famous for saying the N-word on the internet and turned him into a shell of himself, a disgusting, pathetic, leftoid cuck. Has run 2 boxing events called Creator Clash where he has YouTubers fight each other. The first one was a success, for charity, of course. It's supposed to be for charity. And the second one was an utter failure where they had to go after the fact because they wouldn't bring on people that anyone was actually interested in watching fight, like Sam Hyde, because iDubbbz is terrified of Sam Hyde.
That was the song.
Yeah, well, they have announced that they, even despite the massive failure. Oh, the last part is it worth it? Should I put it back on? Okay. All right, I'll keep playing it then. We'll watch the end, because I forgot the end.
Eat the cat,
I'll go back to my point later.
They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Oh, right. I forgot. Right. The end is the best part. There it is, yep.
Dog, you cat.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me.
The dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Very good.
Become a member at freedomtunes.com for exclusive cartoons.
There you go.
Let him chill.
I'll let him chill. He does good work. So anyway, the last thing we're gonna get into before the I have some media slop stuff to cover because some of that's been quite funny. And there was, of course, the massive failure of the Acolyte that was very funny. But after we do that, anyway, because speaking of this Creator Clash thing, iDubbbz has announced that he's planning to do a Creator Clash 3, despite the fact that his last one cost them apparently something like $30,000 to $50,000. I don't remember. And they had to beg for money because it's supposed to be a charity event. They had no money left to give to charity after they partied and flew everybody out and had all these big galas and stuff they threw for their friends. And I thought it would be fun to end the evening by coming up with matches for political boxing. Or it could be boxing, it could be wrestling, it could be mud wrestling or jello wrestling, if you so prefer, or some other type of blood sport. And I've got a list here that Bill and I came up with this afternoon of matches that we thought would be good. Now, one of the things that was a problem with Creator, and I'm telling you guys this before we get into the slop, because I want you all to think, start turning the cogwheels right there to think about who you'd like to see fight each other. Now, here's the rules before we get into the slop, so you can think about this. One of the problems with Creator Clash is that Chris Raygun, who is a tiny little man, ended up getting set up with a guy who's
6 inches tall and 50 pounds heavier,
and has extensive fighting experience. And Chris did not and got the shit beat out of him because it's just one of the many ways the event was totally mishandled.
They didn't handle weight classes correctly, so we will be implementing weight classes.
So I'm at you don't have to be, because we don't know everybody's weight or height specifically, but try to go for similar weight and height classes or things that would be really funny.
Rule of funny trumps everything else, but try to keep the weight classes when you can.
Well, we all mull on that. I'm gonna go over a little bit of media culture slop, which is this. This was kind of funny. So this was the tweet that got brought up earlier, which is this says men's mental health matters, etc., etc. And this woman, Femoid, responds: if men's mental health mattered to men, they would be creating safe spaces for themselves and each other, pursuing therapy and creating community. Instead, they perpetuate the very behavior systems that have handicapped them in the first place, refuse to support or create community amongst each other, severely damage the women in their lives who try to care for them, and attack women online for not doing the work for them in replies to tweets like the one below. LOL. Men had Star Wars, women invaded. Men had sci-fi, women invaded. Men had video games, women invaded. Men had D&D, women invaded. Men had comics, women invaded. Men had men's only clubs, women. You can't even have. I mean, that was one of the first things to go.
The Scouts. When they already
This-
had the
Yeah.
what, brownies and Girl Scouts and all sorts.
Yeah. I mean, you had a female. Oh no, I don't like that one, Cold War at all. I got one for that one, but don't put my boy in that. Oh my God. So this popped off a little bit, but it's true. There was a comic, an old like XKCD style comic from forever ago, and it's why you don't let women into hobbies because they make it has to like it can't be autistic and specialized and only for people who really care about it. Now it has to be for everybody. Now it has to be for normies, and it can't be difficult.
Why are you excluding us? And then by 10 minutes later, you're no longer.
You need to get out.
Here.
Right,
It's
and
not
this is
for
the
you.
thing. What she's just saying, go make your own space. We're taking your stuff, go make your own. Well, when men go make their own stuff, you keep invading it. It keeps happening. And I mean, it's just that tweet obviously has been blowing up, but it's like we all know what's up with that. Some other culture war slop. Matt Walsh released a film called "Am I Racist?" And leftist activists are bullying the small movie theaters. And this is the one we know about, but leftist activists are bullying small theaters.
Matt Walsh a thing, you fucking idiots.
I don't want to talk about this, by the way, because I don't care. I did watch, what was the movie Girl Ballers? I watched that. It was like an Adam Sandler movie tier, you know. I mean, it was, right? Like, it was very, I think I chuckled a couple times. I think we watched it on the server. But,
dodged that one.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you are making Matt Walsh more relevant by calling them up and complaining. Yes. Another theater owner told me they've been told small theaters like this are being targeted with threats from left-wing activists. They're terrified of the film because it's not only hilarious, a big doubt. I haven't seen it, but effective at dismantling their ideology, also doubt.
That's
just because we think the actions of the left are faking gay does not mean we endorse the film, because it might also be fucking gay as shit.
However, it is funny that all of their media is flailing, and they're really desperate to try and get this shitty movie out of theaters. Let people, I don't know, if you want to go watch a shitty movie, watch it. Apparently people quite like, at least from the reviews I've seen, and I'm a little bit surprised because here's what I think happened. So a new show has come out from Marvel, which no one cares about, of course, but it's Agatha After All, which is a spin-off of WandaVision, which itself was very divisive. And it's getting really positive reviews. And I think the thing is, it has gotten so bad that no one even bothers leaving reviews anymore. It's just paid shills.
Well, you can't leave reviews anymore unless you got a ticket through the company that the fucking I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Fandango. Unless you got your ticket via Fandango, you can't leave reviews anymore on Rotten Tomatoes.
But this is a TV show.
Still, I don't know how that interacts with that bullshit, because again, I don't use the sites.
So we just go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Matt, no weapons. I don't care if Vark has a zipper on him at all times. He doesn't get to read into them.
Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes.
So I'm having to nip things in the bud.
Or Agatha All Along, is that what it is? Or is Agatha All Along? I forgot the name of the show because it doesn't matter.
Who the fuck cares?
No, who cares? It's got 77%. Yeah, who cares? So this is, for a Marvel TV show, this is really good in 2024. Like, this is astonishingly high. And so everyone's saying, like, there's a bunch of articles saying how, wow, the show is doing really well. But I want to, and again, no one's watching it, but I do want to just show you some of the things that have been said about this TV show.
Was it released all as one big chunk, or was it like...
No, it's not all been released. I think it's coming out episodically. I think they released some episodes all along. How many episodes are out? How many episodes?
Well, a drama about witches is like the easiest layup possible.
Right, it's just set up for women. So there's only 2 episodes.
We can just rip off Charmed, because everyone who actually enjoyed that series is too coked out of their minds or in recovery from drugs to even remember it.
So it is a mini-series. There's going to be 9 episodes. The 2-part, episode 1 and 2, which is a 2-parter, released on today, apparently. So, out to No, it was up before that though. That's wrong, Wikipedia. How's the reviews already out? I don't know. Whatever. Because I watched Disper's reviews on it. It doesn't. I mean, it sounds like it's another stinker, like you would expect. That's the thing. I think people have just given up. It's like you expect it to be shit. The only thing that's funny about this is some of the press stuff is quite amusing, and I'm bringing this up actually because I slop is slop. But there's a dichotomy that's happening here. So remember, of course, Marvel's owned by Disney, and here was the press junket for Agatha all along.
It's been described as the gayest Marvel project ever. Do you agree?
I mean, I think it's pretty, well, what is the most exciting about it is that that's not exactly what it's about. It's so normalized, but yeah, I definitely think it is.
It's, what does that mean?
What the hell did she just say?
It's the gayest show ever, but that's not what it's all about. It's because that's been normalized? What?
Also, it's the gayest thing ever. This like sanitized fucking show that you have to be able to edit down so you can show it in China. Because you can't show gay shit there. I'm sorry, I don't believe for 1 millisecond it's even 1/8 as gay as something like Raspberry Reich or anything that was made in the 80s.
Oh no.
And by the way, Raspberry Reich is a pretty heavy-duty communist propaganda piece from the 80s. Like, it's not like I'm pulling like something out of thin air that's like just to suit my personal taste because it's fucking dreck. But like, are we gonna sit here and try and pretend that anything like any of this slop is anything near as gay as anything the 80s were pumping out? Hell, fucking less than zero is gayer than most of this stuff.
This was just their whole selling point of the show is lesbians. Now, and this is coming off the heels of The Acolyte being a total critical failure. I mean, audiences hated it. I don't even think they barely could find anybody. Even I think Grace Randolph couldn't stand up for it. It was, the power of one, the power of two, the power of
the damage done to anyone who backed it up, like
credentials
were too great to even try and front for it.
It was so stupid, so lore eviscerating by the creator's own.
I will never forgive The Acolyte.
Fan fiction, essentially.
For destroying the idea of the non-lightsaber using Force user, because I've always loved the idea of a dude who runs up to you and like he throws a punch that doesn't even hit you, but it just liquefies all your organs because you're within like 10 feet of him.
Spoon, I forgot about that. But there's no way we're gonna get through that tonight. So if you want to do that debate, let's save that for. Do you want to do it on the weekend, Spoon? Because I do want to watch it. Spoon. Wake up.
What? Who? What? Where?
Then we're gonna get into the fight. Let's watch the. We'll put something together for the weekend, okay? Because I am sorry we didn't get to that. I had this on my docket. Because I just want to watch because it's funny.
I'm told, I've seen the first episode, but Agatha is the gayest Marvel project yet. Do you agree?
He sounds
It better be. Yeah. That's what I signed up for.
I signed up for
you can just hear the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Every time I run into these assholes, they really do sound like they are one, they're straight out of the fucking Hunger Games, and two, that like they are both drunk off their ass and taking the piss.
But look.
Chemistry between you and Catherine in the first episode.
I'm actually speechless.
I describe it as Law and Order meets Basic Instinct meets Bound.
Go on.
Okay, first of all, you're bringing up Basic Instinct. There's one reason to watch Basic Instinct, and every man in the audience knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Also, talking about Hunger Games, look at her dress. I didn't notice it. Look at it's turned into a square. There's like a look at this.
Yeah, it's got like hip inserts.
I don't know what the hell. It looks weird as hell.
Okay, I can't talk about like red carpet outfits because I defend Bjork's weird goose dress.
Yes, but
so I'm not going to go down that road for the simple fact I do defend the dumb goose dress that Bjork likes because I like Bjork. Because I respect anyone who can air combo and command grab a journalist.
True. Anyway, so here's the bizarre line.
All of that, yes, more. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Gayer and gayer as each episode goes.
Yes, darling, but I can't tell you how. I can't tell you anything, but yes, it will be a
She's
gay
rolling her fucking
explosion.
eyes like she's tired of this shit.
We missed the line. It will be a gay explosion.
I can't tell you anything, but yes, it will be a gay explosion by the end of it.
What is a gay explosion?
The ending of the ratings in the show.
However,
I really feel like Aubrey Plaza's just kind of done with this. Like,
yeah, she sounds bored, but she always kind of sounds that way. Here's why I brought this up, though, is because Disney is making their new Inside Out 2 film less gay. Report alleging poor work conditions and the removal of LGBTQ themes during the production of Inside Out 2 has sparked backlash against Disney across social media. We went into something really weird. I did a review of Inside Out 1. I would not have watched it. I have no interest in most of these movies, obviously. But Jean-Francois Garipe, several years ago, because it has themes of psychology, asked me to watch it and review it with him. So there's a stream somewhere maybe on his channel where we reviewed Inside Out 1. Anyway. Different times.
Connect to the stream if you want to see a series where me and Aydin review dog shit series like that.
Yeah.
If we make $10,000 by the end of the night, we'll review all of Shrek, whole series. $10,000. Gimme. Bill needs to repair his car.
Behind the scenes of Inside Out 2, anxiety seems to have reigned supreme because of China, obviously. With former Pixar employees speaking of a toxic, disorganized work environment and claims of Disney leadership attempting to tone down the film's queer themes. I don't know this. How old are the characters in Inside Out 2? I don't really want to Google this normally.
Teens.
Are they? I mean, like, how? I want an actual age.
Anxiety's a new character because they've just entered their teens. I don't even know anything about this series, but I know that.
They're 13. And they
Or as George Takei calls it, old enough.
Oh, God. So they wanted to have some 13-year-olds in a lesbian relationship. Disney reportedly made notes to make Riley seem less gay. Sources alleging that leadership was uncomfortable with the film's queer themes. Yeah,
What's that? The company that's tanking money at every single fucking corner might want to be like easing up the brakes so they can maybe make a decent fiscal quarter a single time this year.
Riley is not depicted as queer in Inside Out 2, but the film shows her desperately attempting to impress an older girl who is something of a mentor. Allegedly, efforts were made to depict the relationship between the two as platonic, such as editing tone and lighting to make the scenes appear less romantic.
Hang on, why am I getting shit in the chat for liking Bjork?
I like Bjork too. I'll stick up for you. And they bring up Lightyear specifically and say, oh, Lightyear was a financial failure because it had a queer kiss in it. Yeah.
That 10-second kiss that got edited out in the Chinese version?
Yes, in the Chinese version. That's not the reason the movie failed.
It failed because it wasn't Buzz Lightyear of Star Command like it fucking should have been.
Yes, that's what people wanted. And yes, on some level, parents don't want to take their kids to see a movie where your selling point too was that there's a gay kiss scene in it. That's how you sold it. That's how you've been selling things for years, Disney.
Hey kid, do you want to watch something that's got gay kiss in it? No, that's gay. Done. Job done. That's the exact explanation anyone needs to hear.
Yes. All right. So my only point in bringing this stuff up is this is the gayest show ever. This is the gayest show ever. Meanwhile, Disney's cutting out the gay from same company, talking about, gay, we need to make it the gayest show ever, and then going, we need to cut back the gay in our movie. Now, that's done. Slop over. We will
get out of here.
We will watch the Andrew Wilson things. I do want to see it because I have not seen it yet. Sorry, Spin. However, Spin, would you like to engage with us in a conversation? Now, I have a list here. I've been seeing you guys in the chat posting some potentials. Spoon.
He's dead.
Wake up. All right.
Wake up. Rhodesia's coming back.
Spoon. First of all, okay. This is the internet politics slap fight boxing match. I have a number of potential matches here. Should I start with first of all, I think
Who's got top billing?
Okay, Trump and Rogan are the commentators. All right. Yes.
Oh God.
Maybe I would say also maybe as a third have friendly Geordies.
Alex, no. Trump, Rogan, and AJ, commentators.
Friendly Geordies has earned his commentation spot.
But we have Geordies here on our list.
Well, that's the best bit. Is like when it's Tom says like, "Oh, time for my turn," and he gets on his fucking Pit Viper shades and like rips off the shirt, and it's just like the boxing gear.
Now, the first one I thought would amuse you, Spoon, is Curtis Yarvin versus Ben Burgess.
He's dead.
The age gap is unfair.
No, I don't. What's the age gap? How old's Burgess? How old's Yarvin? They're probably similar age. They had to be.
There is 56.
There's
Who
a
is?
what?
Curtis is like 56.
Well, how old's Ben Burgess?
He's like in his
Ben Burgess
mid
looks
40s.
Oh yeah, I guess he's 44.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
I still think Curtis should keep the.
We'll give Curtis a bump of coke before the match. That
Yeah.
evens things out.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, he needs the bump of coke because otherwise he stutters when he fights. But no, that's not top billing. Top billing is the absolute banger in the bantamweight class.
Which one is that?
That is, of course, Desi D
Versus Nick Fuentes.
Destiny versus Nick Fuentes.
I want to see Destiny fight Nick
We
Fuentes.
brainstormed this in the pre-game.
Yes. Yes, I've got a list. I've got a list here. Yeah, Destiny versus Nick Fuentes. I would watch that. I think.
I have a good fight for you.
Yeah.
Cenk versus AJ.
I have Cenk here versus. Who did I put him next to? Sargon. Because they're both about the same age. They're both about the same weight class. I'd like to see them beat the shit out of each other.
Should we just go down the list?
What the fuck are you talking about? He's way fatter.
Cenk is way fatter than Sargon. Sargon's a lot.
To be fair, I think we were thinking of pre-rock climbing Sargon.
Cenk has lost. No, he's not. I think he lost a little bit of weight.
Cenk is still fat as fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, right. I'm thinking like pre-weight loss Sargon. Okay, who did you say Cenk against?
AJ.
Oh my God, Chunk! Yes. Why didn't I think that?
I do love the concept that every time, every single commentator has a match. So they have to tag out.
Yeah, our deceased politicians, anyone, and politicians, political figures.
We thought we were going to have an undead match, but it turns out that Hans Hermann Hoppe is still alive.
Well, I wasn't sure. Oh, this was a fascinating one. We came up with this: Hans Hermann Hoppe versus Slavoj Žižek. Guess what? Now, I think first of all. Well, yes, Hoppe would win, but they are the exact same age.
What?
Yes. Hans Hermann Hoppe and Slavoj Žižek are the exact same. They're both 75. I want to see Hoppe would take
broken hip match.
The broken hip. It's the broken hip division. Yes. Temple versus Sam Cedar would be good. What do we have Tim against? Oh, Ben Shapiro. But they don't have to be politically aligned or disaligned. It was just someone we think would be funny to fight each other.
Let's just get on the list. Get on the list.
All right. Milo versus David Pac-Man, because they're just going to end up sucking each other off.
Oh my God.
That's gayer than 6 rugby matches at once.
How dare you, Bill?
I'm sorry. The concept of a scrum is... I have to back up my Tuesday comment where I called a scrum the gayest thing possible.
No wonder you like Bjorn.
Son versus... Who did this? SPE?
Sam Hyde.
Oh, Richard Spencer. So no. Here's the plan with Hassan.
We had to take into account that he would never fight Sam Hyde. We had to take into account weight class, height. I thought that Milo's too wiry.
Yeah.
Spencer's got a bit of weight on him.
Isn't?
Not anymore. He used to be, but he's got a bit of chunk on him now. For what CNN dollars. I think Destiny versus Nick Fuentes is a pretty fair fight.
That should be the title card, I think.
That's what I said. It's rare to see a bantamweight title card, but just watch those two midgets fight each other. Have the fight for the leadership of the Lollipop Guild.
Now, this was a thing that came up. Ori Nabisco. I will read the super chats in a moment. But I did bring up Lauren Chen versus Shuon Head. Now, I didn't put Shu on my list, but it did happen. When did it? What news outlet was it that just last? It was some news outlet just last week that mixed up Lauren Chen with Lauren Southern. So I said, why don't we have a Lauren off?
It's not the only Lauren off either. There's another mirror match, quote unquote. Later on.
There is another mirror match. Yes, which was the other mirror match. So I think Lauren Chen versus Lauren Southern, mud or Jello.
Split difference, Nutella. Hope no one's got a nut allergy.
No lies, people. So, by the way, this is all just in good fun, okay? David Pac-Man versus Hard Bastard. That's not fair.
Hard Bastard would.
You can't. Yeah, you can't have an Italian be in a wrestling match. They're oiled by default. You can't get a grip on the man. He'll just tear your fucking kidneys out.
Heavy known Hard Bastard. Yeah. I think Crowder should finally fight Sam Cedar. That's not fair,
but... Oh my God, he would fucking murder Sam Cedar.
Well, it's not a fair fight. But it's not a fair fight. But Sam Cedar ran. Well, Crowder tried to fight Ethan Klein.
Sorry.
Or no, and Klein ran away, and then brought in Sam Cedar.
Okay, we'll continue. Troll with a purpose. Nutella with a candy corn. It's not a fucking Pajit match. Jesus Christ. These are the people giving me shit for liking Bjork in the goddamn comments.
Of course, the other mirror match is Ethan Klein, speaking of, versus Ethan Ralph.
I like to call this the two orbs in a Zorb match. It's literally both of them are going to be packed into a Zorb that's been oiled.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro versus Lucas Cage.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I kind of like Shapiro for a match v Tim Pool there.
I just think that would be funny. I think Shapiro versus Pool would be funny to me, even though they agree. So again, with
Dev.
Okay, we're gonna get hold on.
Dev has special billing because we couldn't decide.
We couldn't. We had several ones written down. So yeah,
my personal fave.
Anna Kasparian versus Pearl Davis. They're both thin. They're relatively tall. I think that one would be.
That's a money maker of a betting match. Right there.
Or Pearl Davis versus Emma Vigeland, but I think I'd rather see Anna because Anna's become relatively based.
I want to see Anna versus Emma. That would be fun.
Anna versus Emma would be fun too.
Anna versus Pearl, and both of them have like 3 margaritas for the match.
Oh, let's
3
go.
margaritas and a Pervitin each.
And a
They would
Pervitin.
just argue instead of fighting with their hands.
True.
And that's why the Pervitin's for. It's to offset the margaritas.
Yeah. Usually
If it's just 3 margaritas, there's a very real chance of a lesbian event. If we have the Pervitin, it offsets that and gets into aggression.
Yeah, I guess Pearl's taller. Pearl versus Sydney Watson too, maybe, but yeah.
I want to see.
But Anna Kasparian's got that Armenian anger in her.
That's what she's like a badger, right?
Yeah, I want to see Carl Kalinske versus Jimmy Dore. I think Jim would fuck him up.
I think despite the massive age difference,
I think
Jimmy would fuck him up.
Jimmy Dore looks like he's been glassed a couple times, so he could probably take a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes from a working class family as well.
Let's see.
He's also done comedy, so I bet he's been through some shit.
He's had things whipped at him at high speeds before.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Less in the purely political sphere, we put down the Aussie match, the Aussie v Aussies. We have talked about and watched a video
Bearing
from
versus?
Friendly.
Oh, we should have gone with Bearing.
I didn't think about. Let's do that. Let's do Friendly Jordies versus Bearing.
Yeah, because that way we can cut out I did a thing.
Yeah.
Fuck that asshole.
Money's on Bearing.
Oh, I don't like guns.
Oh,
I did a thing. If you're out there somehow, you literally make improvised guns for a living on YouTube. How the fuck you've not been demonetized with your pile bunker pool cue before?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, giving Brendan Herrera shit. I hope Brendan Herrera beats the fuck out of you.
Despite Friendly Jordies being a lefty Aussie, he does very, very good videos. I think and he's also
Gary
very
versus
funny.
Vito.
Who?
Gary versus
who?
Vito.
Which Gary?
Gary from Neurotic.
Oh,
hell yeah.
I wasn't bringing in.
We can't give Gary performance-enhancing drugs like we can the other combatants.
Actually, it doesn't worry about. None of that matters now because apparently Vito's fighting with Dick Masterson. I hadn't looked into that. If we're going to the drama side of things, yeah. I said that Chud Logic should fight Nick DiOrio. I think that would be funny. Friendly match.
I think Brendan Herrera and Masterson should have to fight each other for who gets to keep the haircut.
To keep the haircut. Yeah, Brandon Herrera.
Who do we have that's based and kind of chunky?
Dank.
How about Dank versus Ethan Ralph?
No, I
yeah,
don't.
we want
No.
Ethan Ralph and Ethan Klein already fighting in the mirror match.
Right.
And I will say this: Dank's a lot thinner than any of the Ethans. He's also not that tall. He's only like 5'9".
Now,
but
he looks a lot taller than he actually is.
I would say this brings us to the end of our list that we had
No, it
prepared.
doesn't. There's a couple more on there.
No, I went through all of them.
But I want to see Dank fuck someone up.
Oh, I did have, of course, some questions before I get to the final one, which is, who does Callum from Lettuce Eaters fight? Because I feel like he would really fuck somebody up.
That was we couldn't.
Vosh is actually, how tall is Vosh? Sticks versus Razor Fist. That's a mirror match. That would be good.
Sticks, Razor Fist, contra
Fist
points,
win.
triple threat match.
Yeah.
You have all the 6 clones in one big match.
And then, of course, who does Spoon fight? Who does Bill fight? I can't fight anything. I can't even fight my own shadow, so that's not.
I say your shadow's in a significantly higher weight class than you.
Spoon, who do you want to fight? If you could fight somebody in the ring, boxing match,
Someone
wrestling.
just
doesn't
I
matter.
fight Spoon, and then Spoon called me fat.
I said you weigh more than I do.
Which is true. And on both counts, to be fair.
There you go.
Also from a long line of professional boxers.
Yeah.
But I felt like who would I like objectively like to like wail the fuck out of?
Yeah, who would you like to? Who you thought you could think you'd take on? Who's not totally outside of your class? You think you could take out?
Pac-Man.
Yeah.
With a fucking vengeance.
Okay, so somehow he manages to get the best of Milo. I'm guessing Milo just dies of AIDS in the ring.
Yeah, Milo dies of AIDS. Yeah.
And so it's up to you to rip his fucking scalp off.
Like his smugness just would like enrage me in a manner that you would not see out of me in any other capacity.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about him just like fills me with like urges that would land me in prison.
So I did.
Oh
say
yeah, can we add Asmongold into the Styx claim?
Asmongold, yeah, Asmongold, and throw in Charlie then too. The Courtney versus Boogie. Nah.
Rings have gotten thinner in recent years, and honestly, like.
And he's nowhere near.
Drakenvord versus Lizzo, Jesus Christ. Lizzo's also lost weight, give credit where credit is due. I'm not sure what Drakenvord's up to. Adam Friended versus iDubbbz, though. That's not a bad one. 10 points.
Ooh. I don't know.
Didn't we have someone lined up for iDubbbz?
I don't remember.
I think we were going to have Callum fight him just because it would be funny.
Oh, just because I think Callum would just maul him. But that's not really fair. You know?
No, where's Mauler in the mix?
Oh yeah, where's Mauler in the mix?
I mean, apart from out back in the paddock with all the sheep.
No one knows what Mauler looks like or anything, so it's harder to make. Well, I guess sometimes you can tell just by somebody's personality. If you
Yankee
think they'd be
Doodle, we've
able
been over
to
this. We
beat
can't
somebody
have
else
Hyde v Hassan Piker because it's specifically a banned matchup.
Right. So, but the idea is that
Harry
it's
to
Hassan
fight
versus.
Piker.
Yeah, Harry could probably beat up Hassan. Maybe. I don't know.
No, Harry's a big boy.
You can't have a British person fight a Turk. It's an instant fucking bonus of favoured enemy.
Right.
Oh, who would Makante fight?
Who would you?
Alyssa Makante.
Alyssa Makante? Depression.
Zoe Quinn then?
Yeah.
So a true mirror match.
Yes, a true mirror match.
Zoe Quinn has to fight her DLC costume.
Yes. Now choose a new rival.
That's pretty good.
Now what we ended on, what we had to wait is Dev versus who? Now, he was here earlier, but he has left. The obvious answer is Scrump.
Oh my God, Scrump would. He wouldn't even get in the ring to talk with Scrump, let alone.
I don't know how tall Dev actually is. His name is Short Fat Otaku. Joe Biden versus Stairs.
To be fair, a good number of people on the list of combatants. Yeah,
right.
So no rematches, no. We try to avoid mirror matches. Dev versus Jim Sterling.
Oh,
that's a good pick.
That's a very good one.
Chuck, fucking banger.
Yeah, let's go, Chuck. That's a great one.
That's
Dev
actually not
Gravity.
bad.
So I Scrump.
Where's Devi Nay?
Again,
Gravity. Gravity's winning already. No more matches.
I don't know how tall Dev is. His name is Short Fat Otaku.
I can't imagine tall and like 5'3".
But I know how tall Scrump is. And I think that I honestly, well, I think obviously Scrump would win, but I definitely would like to see that. Also, the other ones I put on here just for fun is and I put it on here, Dank potentially, but I think that Dank's not that tall either.
He's 5'9".
Yeah. Yeah, people, everyone thinks Dank's really tall, but he's actually
he is. I would say that in terms of aura.
Yes, he is tall.
But he's not that tall in person, but he's got an incredible amount of like
presence
and he's stocky. He's got a lot of presence.
Mm-hmm. No.
Also, I definitely wouldn't want to fight him considering he's been in street fights before and really bad ones where like people turning up tough. There is an old story of his back from early days when he was still reviewing like RuneScape drama. Where he said, like, some dude rocked up to a street fight with a stepladder, and his exact words were, "Who the fuck brings a stepladder to a fight?" Then he woke up in a hospital, handcuffed to a gurney.
Dev versus Salad. He's automatically lost. That one's ever.
What were our carded options for Dev?
Well, the other one was Jonathan Wong.
Which,
but that was just mean. You put him on there just to be mean.
Yeah, Jonathan Wong is perhaps the most dangerous person to get pushed.
You put him on there because Dev is Canadian and builds railroads. That's why you put Jonathan.
Well, yeah, and as someone from Hong Kong, he has a racial bonus versus
right
versus old Chinaman. It would fuck, like, people say, oh, it's like a pit bull in a fucking like primary school. No, that's a hand grenade on a butcher's pallet. It would look like something out of Cannibal Ferox. You want to have a direct, like, one-to-one, like, recreation of what Anton Chigurh does to a man's arm.
Dear Lord.
You want to look like Blood Meridian? Put fucking Jonathan Wong in a fight with Dev. Put Jonathan Wong in a fight. Anyway,
if people don't know, we should probably, because people may not know who Jonathan Wong is. He used to be basically the showrunner for Lotus Eaters. He's knows a lot about the martial arts.
He was also like the personal trainer of the entire Lotus Eaters crowd. And he's the reason why people like Dank.
He's a very cool guy.
Carl, the reason why Carl is thin now, and why Harry and all the others are all in excellent health, and why Callum can casually go to Afghanistan without issue, is purely because Jonathan Wong's fitness regime is like something out of fucking Dragon Ball.
It was so good to see him at the Wood End. Jonathan's always
casually runs marathons.
Yeah. So you put him in there because of the
I just want to see what it would be like to have Dev fight someone who could probably punch his way through a whale carcass on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Not precisely fair. So who's the title card, though, out of these? The one that I would most like to see is Destiny versus Nick Fuentes, I think. I think that would be fun.
I think that's the fairest fight there.
It's the fairest fight in terms of height and you know.
Thoughts on new D&D from Jakoto345. I didn't like 5e, I certainly didn't like 5.5, and have fun if you write for those assholes, because their AI fucking scalping program is just a way to rehash.
By the way, I would say if Jim streams anything to go by, my money would be on Fuentes, just because like he has taken Black Dick up the arse, so we know that Fuentes can take punishment.
Also, like
Destiny also goes both ways, though.
Oh, he knows how to take emotional
Fuentes only
abuse.
goes one. Oh, true.
Okay, do we have any modifiers allowed to apply to the matches? Like, are both parties forced to wear cat ears?
In that instance, absolutely.
Like each person's wardrobe is picked by the other.
Oh,
so Destiny's having to fight in like a maid, like basically Catboy Cammy's fucking gear, and I fucking shudder to think what Nick Fuentes is forced to wear, because I don't even want to think about what
this
Desi's
is
into.
There's been some extreme autism, but I thought it would be fun to do this for a little bit. We have a little bit of fun at the end of the stream.
Stephen E versus Filthy Frank, Christ alive.
Good Lord, yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to bring Joji back, because I think
Joji only occasionally escapes from Filthy Frank.
Keep in mind,
or from Joji occasionally other way around. Words.
You might want to put your opposition in something too embarrassing, because it'll really backfire if they're dressed in something embarrassing and they kick your ass.
Yeah, if Nick Fuentes is trussed up in a gimp suit and he rips your face off in live television, it's gonna look real bad.
Yeah, there you go.
What's like one of the what was the one that we suggested was like DSP versus Christian, and there's no winning scenario for DSP, even though DSP can bounce back from anything, and I do respect him for that. If either he kicks in Christian's head and he's the guy who punched in the retard, alternately he's the person who gets his shit rammed by Christian. Now,
Critical Drinker versus In Praise of Shadows, that's a death match too.
You can't have Scottish people fight anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Critical Drinker would have to fight Knucker.
Yeah, you had to...
Two pissheads beating the piss out of each other.
Yeah, you can't... Like, Scottish people are built different.
I want to see Christian fight Dev, purely so that the last thing Dev hears before he wakes up in traction is, "Welcome to the Women's League, bitch." Then he wakes up in a fucking hospital.
Or he wakes up and the dimensional merge has occurred.
He wakes up in a morgue. That's just that thing. Like, you can't. Could you imagine Christian knock someone out, and as they lay on the ground and fucking bleeding out their face, he just throws a medallion on them to curse them forever?
This is so much of a more wholesome, I would say, YouTuber discussion than if you go onto Twitter
I want to see
and follow
Barack
the account.
Obama fight Don Lemon.
No, black don't crack.
That's just black on black crime.
Well, yes,
which
but
one is gay.
you have to see which black cracks
go.
first. Because they both have cracks, but you know, so which black
Oh,
cracks
what was that
first?
thing that who's Nick Fuentes like feuding with now?
Oh, I don't know. He's always feuding with somebody.
Yeah, it was Milo v Nick Fuentes, who can knock up a bitch first, and I said it was Alien versus Predator.
Okay. Oh, right. I don't
Whoever wins
remember.
this.
Okay. Let's see. AOC. This is another one where it's got to be in Jello.
Vito
or
v
mud.
Vosh, call it Pedo Bowl. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck's got kicking out some bangers.
Yeah.
Qigong tea time. I don't think Vosh versus a horse constitutes a match.
Who does AOC fight?
That's because he will try.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, there you go. Horse off. To the races.
Grand National. Hand out strawberries and cream to every person watching.
Oh.
Okay, we have to have Trump fights on because, as we've ruled,
Trump's the commentator.
every commentator has to fight. This is just a rule.
Okay, so who does Trump fight?
His own ego.
I mean, obviously,
Vince McMahon.
Trump fights. Yes, Trump fights.
Because they fought
Vince
before,
McMahon.
and it was actually a fairly even fight, and they're about the same age.
Trump versus Vince McMahon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, I think
July.
I think we've I'm wearing down. I thought it'd be a fun way to end the stream with a little bit of alt hype versus. That's everyone's just
Don
versus
Lemon
Dev.
versus Eric July. Fucking Eric July will kill him.
Trump versus Uwe Boll. Okay, Uwe Boll is a professional boxer. He's not allowed to be. It's like
That's like the problem with making Chris Reagan fight that guy who's got more than have a foot.
I'm disqualifying anyone who has like a history of anything
And a history of
relating to
training, yes.
combat sports.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene VOC
versus
is not a
AOC.
bad
That's
one.
it. They have to fight. But
Trump
again,
versus my mum. I would say this: I don't bet on Trump in that fight.
I would bet on Trump on that. No.
My mum has knocked out actual professional boxers before. Guernsey folk built different.
Trump versus McMahon with Hulk Hogan and The Rock as a run-in for respective sides. Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, it's a good match.
Yeah. The question about Marjorie Taylor Greene versus AOC though is that is this a proper match or is this a mud wrestling or Jello?
Bowood versus Ilhan Omar.
Okay, Mark David Chapman versus Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yes.
Court 38 special. And yes, I know that Lee Harvey Oswald used a Carcano, but we can't just let him have a firearm that shoots harpoons at people.
Very true. Very true. Oh, I am winding down. I thought that'd be a fun way to end the stream, though. Slosher for 5 Canadian says, Destiny replied to that tweet about women going in men's spaces saying, this is why you don't have a GF. Yeah, I saw it. He's getting roasted, as you would expect. Yeah, he's full of nothing but bad takes. And it's funny
Lake versus Mika Brzezinski.
Oh, that'd be fun. Carrie Lake versus Mika Brzezinski. I could see that, yeah.
There's so many options.
That's what I'm saying. This is fun. Like I said, this is the more wholesome option. Or
Qigong, I'm actually going to back you up this. I think there should be more mum jokes because my mum is one of the most terrifying people in a fight I've ever seen.
Oh, Clarence Thomas. Jeez.
Who's that guy who looked like Don King?
No. Clarence Thomas versus Al Sharpton.
Yes. Oh my God.
Fuck me dead. That would be the roughest.
Century.
Like that would look like something out of Barky.
Clarence Thomas.
Like people getting like body parts ripped off and shit.
Of everything that we've mentioned so far, that's my favorite.
That's my favorite, I think, now as well. That's
of course, it's Cold War, mate. They brought that. Thomas Sowell versus
Thomas Sowell. It could be Thomas Sowell or Clarence Thomas versus Al Sharpton. Either one, I think, would be a good. Either one is a good match. But I think Clarence. I think Justice Thomas. Like he's like, just you can tell he's full of anger at the shit he has to deal with all the time.
Especially since you got that fucking black bitch on the Supreme Court now, who's just.
I know.
I'm just now picturing the fucking Styx battle. At this point, the Styx fight is like the Styx pile up is like the battle royale, or the Royal Rumble. It's like the last man standing gets to be the last Styx. So I'm just picturing the last two versus like the hordes is just it's pretty like. Razor Fist and ContraPoints back to back, just pump kicking people in the throat.
I'd like to see Razor Fist against Kyle Kalinske.
That'd be fun too.
I think Razor Fist would kick his ass.
My point I was making there is that this is the much more wholesome version of that guy on Twitter who makes the YouTuber gay sex charts, where he like.
Oh yeah, where's Wendigoon in all this? We had him on the chart, didn't we?
Well, we were. Then we decided to only keep it to political figures, and we said Wendigoon and Brandon Herrera.
We can't make him fight his dad.
I know we can't, but it's a father-son duel.
Oh,
It's
no,
not
do you know?
fucking-
Do you know which fight I would like to see most? Like legitimately, I'd like to see Alex Jones fight Michael Eric Dyson.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Rittenhouse versus Hogg.
Let's go. Oh my God. Rittenhouse versus that. Yes, let's go.
Yeah, here's the thing, Rittenhouse wouldn't even have any input because God guides his hand.
God guides his hands. God
So
his
it would look
It's a one-hit KO.
Rittenhouse looking traumatized as God literally just passes his hand through Hogg's neck.
Yes, and there's just Jesus is literally there guiding his arm.
That's his finisher move is Jesus take the wheel.
Yes. Of course it is. I'm gonna head out. I think I'm getting tired, although this is fun. I think this is again much more wholesome version of the guy who comes up with.
We could do a whole stream of just this, to be
sex
honest.
chart. I know it'd be fun.
Yeah,
Talk about it on the
Wendigoon should
Twitter.
fight the guy who makes the sex chart so he can get some fucking revenge.
Yeah. Post your ideas for political boxing matches.
Jordan Peterson versus.
Senior Buckle. Yeah, he's got to fight in the belly of the beast. To fight your ego.
It's just Hugh Laurie. Fuck it, just have him fight House.
Who is the most like anti-Jewish?
Me?
Person that I can think of that's like in his age bracket.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson versus barbiturates. Jesus Christ.
Revive William Pierce from the grave?
Oh, you had no problem gassing me. I never gonna get back my copy of Hearts of Iron. Well, if we're allowed to resurrect people, like the old bets are off. Like
yeah, let's not get into the resurrection.
Yeah, if we tell you what, if this stream does well, we'll do a stream of just this dumb bullshit.
We can fuck around if people enjoy this.
But
I have a request.
Hitler versus Baron von Ungern-Sternberg. Let's have that fight.
There you go.
So you could be the bigger problem from Austria.
Exactly.
And the answer is, of course, Hans Hermann Hofer.
Of course. Well, I mean, Eric von Kuhnert Leiden.
No, I'm thinking now.
Richard Spencer, I think we were going to go with Milo.
Yeah, we put Spencer versus Milo, and then at the last second you sub out Spencer and put in Sam Hyde.
Oh, okay. Bill, I got one for you. Otto von Bismarck versus Teddy Roosevelt.
Ooh, that's good. Same weight class. Same weight class.
Mm-hmm.
That said, though, both pretty durable.
Or McIntyre versus Matt Walsh, yes.
Oh God.
Well, you couldn't have Roosevelt v like Franz Ferdinand because we've proven who's more bulletproof.
I think would be a good sort of weight class range would be Destiny versus Malice.
No.
Oh yeah, because Malice is actually way shorter and thinner than he looks.
Actually, Destiny versus Malice would be.
I still like Nicky the Knife for it though. I can't call Nicky what I normally call him on the stream because
Yeah.
we'll get demonetized.
Well, it's already
Jesse
gone.
Peterson versus Ashcroft would be good too.
So many options.
So yeah, if it's Kermit versus Miss Piggy and Jordan Peterson is Kermit,
Did
who's
we have
Miss
Tim
Piggy?
Poole down to fight?
Tim Pool I had down to fight. Ben Shapiro.
That's a good. I'd still say this. I stand by that.
I would say Tim Pool and Dev because they're both fence sitters.
Oh yeah,
Dev
the
is not
difference
a
being
fence.
that Tim
No,
can
no,
sit on the
that's
fence
not
and
true.
Dev's fence buckles beneath him.
Yeah, Dev
you want
doesn't.
your
actually
belt
sit
to
on the
buckle, not your seat, honey.
Yes, exactly. I am going to head us out, though, with Horwitz, Feinberg, and Horwitz for 10 has said, I heard the secret words, we need some info-metal, which sounds like an excellent way to end out this autism. So, I've got some info-metal. Let's listen to Hardcore Savage Death Machines. Let me get this address here.
Sounds like fun to me.
Where is it? Yeah, okay. And, I stopped sharing my screen, so actually, hang on a second. 1 second. Forgot about that. I wasn't anticipating that, so I'm gonna share my screen with you here in a second. Fucking A. Hang on, sorry. YouTube's being lame. Okay. Here we go. Alright, you have my screen up, Spin? We'll watch some info-metal as we head out. Got the...
You
Got it up, Spoon?
calmer than this.
No, no!
It's very aggressive.
We've been requested. Info-metal. Let's head out on some info-metal. We should talk about fighting. You got it up?
Yes.
She said. All right.
Profile, signature, algorithm, wavelength, raw.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week.
Alla person.
Aydin, you're changing the thing again because you're on the tabs.
Trillions a year in narcotics traffic, total command bases, underground fortresses, satanic worship at Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, force bases, nuclear missile command bases, deep orbit, article beams, savage, life extension fortresses. Get married. Hardcore savage.
Seems a bit sludgy for them.
Ready to kill you and your family, and they can't wait. And they think you're too weak to understand their attack profile. Yeah, go get covered with shots. Your kid ain't ever gonna talk again, and they're gonna die of brain cancer at age 10. How's that sound? Get covered by the New World Order. Get murdered right now. Go get an abortion right now. Kill all the black babies right now. Get covered in blood from the New World Order. I'm LeBron James. This message brought to you by Satan. You think you can have me? You think you can pull this?
I don't see any cowboy broken being.
Something you can't even deal with. It's scum. Oh, yeah, you know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. As the spirit of humanity begins to rise, nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing on earth's gonna stop us.
Yay! Thank you all for watching. And again, we will